Urban Soul. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. 3 committee maximum security prison wardens have been convicted for helping convicted terrorists escape in November 2021. A Kahawa Law Court fined Robert Kipkirui Soy and Kaikai Talengo Moses 100,000 Kenya shillings each, or 6 months imprisonment in default. The third warden, Willie Wambua, was fined 200,000 Kenya shillings, or 1 year in default, and an additional 800,000 Kenya shillings, or 2 years imprisonment, for organizing a meeting supporting a terrorist group. All 3 were found guilty of neglecting official duties, aiding prisoners to escape, and facilitating terrorist activities. A family from Mukhunga village in Budalangi constituency, Busia County, is appealing to the government to help bring the body of their son who died in Russia. 38-year-old Oscar Agola is reported to have traveled to Russia, where he was recruited as a soldier. He was killed while fighting in the Russia-Ukraine war in June last year. The family says it cannot afford the cost of transporting his body back to Kenya.
Alipigwa na drone. Yeye akiwa ni mwanajeshi wa Russia, pale wanapigana na drones. Hatuwezi tukaanza kujidanganya ya kwamba tunaweza tukawa na hela za kuweza kugharimia.
Activists who are supporting the family called on the state to stop the recruitment of Kenyans into the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Rais William Ruto, as the chairman of the Security Committee, the issue of Russia should not run away from your mind. You must set up, you must stand up, and you must make sure that the recruitment of young people into the Russian war is stopped.
88 families in Mwanda, Mbalaweni, Kayafungo area, Kaloleni constituency in Kilifi County are living in fear of eviction. This is after unidentified people claimed ownership of their 400-acre land, prompting residents to protest and accuse them of harassment. The residents say they hold a title deed issued in 2021.
Kitu cha kuudhi ni kwamba tumewapeleka kotini watu hawa, na wakati wanaambiwa wasikanyage shamba kwa kutakuwa na status quo, wao bado wanaendelea kukanyaga shamba, na hata wamefikia kuuza na kutuletea askari wenye mbwa kali.
My government has achieved 80% of its campaign promises, President William Ruto says. He told the UDA National Governing Council at State House, Nairobi on Monday that his administration has stabilized the economy and strengthened agriculture. The president highlighted fertilizer distribution as a key effort to boost crop production, increase food security and reduce food cost over time.
Leo tunasimama hapa, scorecard yetu inaonyesha wazi ya kwamba yale makubaliano tulikubaliana na Wakenya, manifesto Wakenya milioni 7.2 walipigia kura, imetekelezwa almost 80%. Maneno ya uchumi ni vile profesa ametueleza. Uchumi ya Kenya sasa iko imara. Maneno ya kilimo, tumesukuma kilimo, sasa inaeleweka wazi.
And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generations, the people's breakfast. Curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The people's breakfast. Your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. Radio Generation.
Oh, yes, indeed. Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights. This is Radio Generation. The People's Breakfast is what we call ourselves as far as this show is concerned. And we do this every single day from 6 a.m. to 10 in the a.m. In studio is me, Mungala Movie, and I do have CT Muga Hemuseluf. My brother, how are you doing?
Thank you.
Ninafurahi sana kusikia ukiongea ukiwa mzima sasa. Jana ulikuwa umefika level fulani, leo sasa ni kama umetoka from the forest, you're now basking in the sunshine. Yeah, you're healed, eh?
Believe me, I am well.
You're well. Does it feel good?
It feels good.
Yeah.
The thing is, what I had was not even a stuffy nose. What I had was a running nose now.
Yes.
But that is a sign of wellness. It means my body was expelling everything it didn't particularly want. And now the expulsion is nearing its end.
So I was the first one to catch a cold, I think, in this office this year. Then you caught on, umepona sasa. Kuna jamaa anaitwa Openje amepata homa pia. Inakaa ni kama anapata.
Yes.
You know, when I had a cold, I asked Openje, hey, bro, when is the last time you had a cold? You told me, bwana, mimi sipata wangi homa bwana. Nikamwambia, oh, good for you, man. But now, tunaona ni kama jamaa anaanza kulemewa. Kidogo, unamwangalia hivi anakaa ni kama anataka kulia. Sababu the allergens have taken over his body. You know, the funny thing is when I asked him about catching a bout of a cold, he told me, bwana, mimi siwezi pata homa. I've been washed in the blood of the lamb. Mimi na homa tunakuanga hivi na hivi. Kaambia, bro, hii kitu nashinganga mtu yote bwana. Kanaambia, nani mimi nakapata homa. Mimi. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. But you know what, Openje, don't worry. What you do what City and I did. Kunywa kahawa kwa wingi, lakini cha muhimu sana na zaidi, fanya hivi, kunywa ginger shots, alafu pia ukimaliza just make sure you get enough rest and lots of fluids. Ama namna gani City? Kuna kitu nimehata hapo?
Hapana, kuna kitu. Hakuna.
Na uachane na mhombero for the rest of this week. That is the only way we can assure that everything shall be fine. Na pia ndio usisambazie ule demo nani? Pia ndio usisambazie yule mtu mwenye mnatembeanga na yeye.
If I was being your friend, I will know why.
What I meant is ndio usisambazie mama mboga. I make sure and I maintain social distance. Let's just get into what is trending this morning. Oh no, before we do that, let me tell you what is significant about today. So today is the 27th day of January 2026, right? And I can tell you for sure, without a fear of favor, that today what is significant is that in 1945, liberation of Auschwitz. This was a labor camp, right?
Yes, it was.
In Poland.
It was.
Yeah. So, liberation of Auschwitz, Soviet troops liberated the Auschwitz-Birkenau, a concentration camp complex now observed globally as International Holocaust Remembrance Day. So, in 1945, this particular day, that is 27th January, Soviet troops liberated the Auschwitz labor camp. You can read about this Auschwitz place, by the way. Several documentaries as well. If you enjoy watching videos on several platforms, check it out. This is a movie now. There's another movie called, and I think I've mentioned it before, Escape from Sobibor. Also another Polish concentration camp during the Second World War. Quite a sad movie. I can tell you in advance if you haven't watched it. It's a sad movie, but it puts you in the minds of the people that, first of all, committed those atrocities and those ones that underwent those atrocities. If you have the time and the heart to watch it, please do. City. Methali.
Right. You know, there's one particular one that I really like.
Okay.
No axe gets sharp in a blacksmith's workshop.
No axe gets sharp in a blacksmith's workshop.
Yes. Inaundwa huko.
Huko ndiko inaundwa tu.
Yeah, but
lakini kunolewa
ni kwingine.
Mwenye anaitumia.
Huyu ni production shika. Sasa wewe ambao unaitakia kazi.
Right.
Jukumu liko kwako. Wewe.
Nenda kaifanyie
ile. Nafanya yeye na kuwa sharp.
So that you can use it in the way you want. So okay. All right. I like that one.
You like it?
Yeah. So even us, if I were to apply it in our everyday life, we came from somewhere, but we are sharpened by our experiences out here. So the more we are used, or the more we use ourselves, the more we interact, the sharper we become.
Absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely
true. Inaweza kuwa mhenga mimi si ndio?
Wewe ni mhenga tayari.
Unaona ni kama watanialika katika kumbukumbu za maisha.
Yaenda ikawa.
Za dunia.
Yaenda ikawa.
Sawa basi City. Asante tena sana.
Ajuae nani Maulana sio?
Ajuae ni Maulana, kusema kweli hapo nayo umegonga ndipo. Right. So guys, you can check us out on our several platforms, or various platforms, including and not limited to radiogeneration.co.ke, where we're about to get in and just check out what's happening. But before we do that, City, you remember that Mili we were talking about that happened over the weekend, the tear gassing of former DP Gachagua. It has stories are coming out.
It has gone legs.
Yes. So I don't know if this,
Now do you understand why I sometimes tell you?
Yeah.
Do not worry.
Tulia kwanza uone.
This thing. Clarity itatokea tu. Just
But I still feel like we still haven't gotten the clarity.
Now you've understood the gist of it. The tales have begun. Okay?
It is alleged.
Yes, everything is alleged. The only thing which isn't alleged is the attack. The attack was actually there.
It happened, yes.
Yes, that one there's no allegation.
So someone took these photos of the individuals that were throwing tear gas and holding guns and shooting into protesters and so on and so forth. So several people took screenshots of these particular officers or individuals we believe to be officers and did a search. And indeed, according to those findings, some of them are actually police officers. Surprise, right? So some of them indeed are, but some are not. So some of them are police officers, some are not. For example, there's one former MCA of a I can't remember which ward, ambaye alipatikana katika hizo picha. Sasa mimi nashangaa, wewe ni politician, ulikuanga former MCA, unafanya nini ukirushia fellow politician na mawe?
No, let's call him a concerned citizen.
Okay, concerned citizen, right? Mwingine askari, some of them are allegedly attached to the security of one woman rep of Murang'a County, Honorable Betty Maina. So wanasema ya kwamba hawa ni watu wake ambao waliwatuma, and of course several others who are not police officers, probably what we like calling goons in this country.
Actually concerned citizens.
Concerned citizens. So other concerned citizens that are have ties to
given to dramatic activity.
Right.
Yes.
So now what is interesting is Betty Maina is currently married to Mathira MP.
Currently.
The current Mathira MP. Yeah.
Okay. She wasn't married anyway before.
No, actually she was. She was in a previous relationship, and I believe in that relationship she also had a child or children. I know there's a child at the very least.
It's very good.
Kuna mtoto pale.
So the current makes sense, eh? So she's currently married.
Yes.
To the Mathira MP.
Eric Wamumbi. That is the name of this Mheshimiwa of Mathira. So, but that is neither here nor there. What is germane to the conversation is that Honorable Rigitha Gachagua was actually in their wedding ceremony, their traditional wedding ceremony. And in the Kikuyu culture, there's something called Rorashio. Yeah? So Rorashio is where the families finally meet at the bride's home, and then they offer bride price.
It's where they go to pay dowry.
Exactly. So the bride price, the dowry is negotiated. Wanasema mbuzi kadhaa, ng'ombe hizi, samaki hawa.
Central ni mbuzi bro.
Okay, lakini wanaweza itisha samaki. I'm just letting them know that they're not limited to cows and goats,
Okay.
Yes. Sorry. So mahali hawa wanyama walifanyiwa exchange. And guess who was the chief negotiator in this dowry?
Former DP.
Former deputy president. So I'm asking and then of course Nyoro led the entourage of Eric Wamumbi, right? The Mathira MP. Sasa imagine, after all this drama, hata niite drama kama Wakamba, after all this drama, unakuja kuuliza, watu ni marafiki bwana. This is basically like, by the time you're asking someone to be your chief negotiator at a dowry ceremony, this is someone you trust. This is someone you actually like, unaambia msebe, wewe ndio lifeline yetu hapa. Wewe ndio uta make sure your bride price imefanya nini? Iko sawa. Ta imagine. Yuri.
There are no permanent friends or enemies in politics. They say.
Niereke gwere mani. Naongea kama kina Wamumbi. I'm trying my best here.
Let me tell you something, bro.
Yes, sir.
There are epitaphs that you come across. There are sayings that you come across. And you do and may perhaps believe you understand the meaning.
Yes.
But when it's operationalized in the here and now and you see the manifestation of that, then the meaning sinks and cements itself.
Yeah.
There are no permanent friends or permanent enemies.
In politics.
Akuna. So this is that season where that permanency is changing.
Yani unaweza kaa hivi siti wewe. Imagine during your wedding, the person who was your negotiator, best man or whatever you guys have. And then that person, you just decide by day to send concerned citizens, you call them?
Yes.
You send concerned citizens his way to show your concern.
To express and demonstrate your concern.
And children are involved, caught up in these problems that we as adults just bring upon them.
We have taken a breather. We meaning my neck of the woods.
Right.
We are breathing.
Aha. Nyinyi ndio mlikuanga na hizi drama.
Hii baba ilikuwa ni province yetu.
Yeah. Sasa imekuwa taken
over. We were identified.
You have lost your forte.
Actually, we haven't. I have been of the view for a number of years now that there are certain cultural activities that we are exporting to other regions of the country.
Yeah.
Yes. Some of them may not necessarily be productive.
Yes.
But nonetheless, we were identified with it for the very longest time.
Yeah.
And there are people who ensure that the identification stuck.
You know, in Ukambani, whether it's Kitui, Machakos, Makueni, Ukambani imefika mpaka huko Shimba Hills. But
what are Shimba Hills? You know, most people don't understand.
Right.
Ukipiga hiyo njia, machinery.
Yes.
Ukiendeleaga tu Sultan Hamud. Unaendeleaga tu, okay? Mpaka ufike Mtito wa Ndei.
Mtito wa Ndei.
But it's one huge place.
Yeah.
Utaenda mpaka Mariakani Mombasa.
Sasa bro, nilikuwa nakwambia Ukambani yote mimi sijaiona vita kama hii. Mahali watu wanatumiana guns, wanachapana. Maybe ziko because at the end of the day anyway, it's not like I really live in Ukambani then niko ya katikati. However, what I know happens there, I've heard, again, this is me just saying that this is what I've heard. Huko watu wanarushiananga waganga, wachawi, warogi.
Well, you see, the end goal is the same.
Yes.
But you people prefer remote control activities.
Exactly.
Yes.
I like that word. So, guys in that region, remote control.
Remote control.
But in other regions of this country, I've realized people like doing this mano imano.
No, they believe in personal representation.
Yeah, mondo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hiyo ni kitu siezani na.
The thing about these activities,
yeah,
they have a tendency of escalating.
Unfortunately.
And the people who normally get injured or suffer the most or bear the brunt of it are people you refer to as innocents.
Yeah.
People who had no say, they had no issue, they were not involved, but they bear the brunt of it.
You remember a certain time when Honorable Moses Kuria, he was indicted because alikuwa amenolesha mapanga kapatia youths wa hizo areas za Gatodo. Sijui kama nakumbuka hiyo story.
He did not invent the issue of pangas.
Yes.
There's an entire MP in a place called Budalangi who actually got jailed
for the same
bootload of pangas.
Yeah. So
you wonder, we do understand what pangas are for, but there's a political activity apparently that pangas do very well. Yes. It's not easily understood.
Right.
I'm among the people who don't understand it.
But
when somebody has a bootload of pangas,
yes,
and he's going to a political rally, then you connect to and say that the pangas are a political activity.
But I remember that time Moses Kuria alikuwa amesema, and I'm paraphrasing of course, wataenda kutairi Wajaruo. so those pangas had been acquired kuenda kutairi Wajaruo. Walikuwa wamepanga kwenda kutairi Wajaruo.
When I tell you that you need to give political utterances their place,
yes,
there are things you hear and take it in your stride.
Yeah.
Don't take it to heart.
Yeah.
No, but please don't.
Please, yes.
Don't.
What I will do...
They are political utterances.
We shall invite through Edna. Edna, please, can you find Honorable Moses Kuria for us one of these fine days? Tumuulize kama waliweza kupata Wajaluo na walitaili wagapi. Meanwhile, let me just say a big shout out to the following folks before we get into the top stories. Don Sabwa. Paul, good morning. Don Sabwa. Paul, good morning. Ask City, why do we have someone responsible for health and 6 medical services outside Kenya, responsible for education, but kids attend private schools and do international courses? Yes, Don Sabwa. It's a crazy continent we live on.
I need to answer this man directly.
Yes.
Don, it's like this. Huh? There are the freedom to take your children to the school of your choice is a freedom that every Kenyan enjoys, but it needs to be accompanied by another freedom, a certain financial freedom and capacity for you to do that. Okay?
Yeah.
The thing about our country is we associate that financial well-being with people who are in high positions of authority within government and perhaps with our elected leaders or perhaps people who are in business.
Yeah.
But this becomes an issue not because they're private institutions that are on offer as a choice of destination for learners. This becomes a subject of discussion because we see the people who are our lawmakers, the people who have the task of ensuring that they create budgets to make budgets for us.
Yes.
People who are supposed to represent the wishes of the entire citizenry of Kenya. They represent this class of people who are supposed to be, who should we say, emulate the well-to-do.
Yeah.
Now, this wouldn't be an issue if so many Kenyans were not languishing in abject poverty. It would not be an issue. It is the poverty vis-a-vis the opulence and the bizarre manifestation of material being. That is what makes this discussion potent.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
This vulgar display of wealth is something that seems to have gotten into Kenyans' heads. They must display. The whole world must know
that I'm driving this big car. All right. John Mutu amesema, good morning, my TV show. Mbuvi, tell City I'm watching live nikiwa Doha. John is watching live akiwa Doha.
John, have a coffee on us today.
All right. Victor Lesusiana amesema, morning. Well, morning. George Buyu, good morning, Mbuvi and City. Such a beautiful Tuesday morning. A suggestion for you to pass on to YouTube. Maybe they could introduce audio messages in the comments to accommodate those busy mikononi. All right.
Right.
Thank you for that suggestion, George. I can assure you that the production team has taken it into account, and perhaps we shall be able to do that. But thank you so much. Then we have the Evalicious. Amesema, top of the morning. Well, top of the morning. Sungura wetu amesema, was Gachagua church chaos an inside job? Sungura, also people are saying that perhaps this was stage managed. In this country, anything is possible. But let's wait, like we said, for the sleuths to do their thing, and they will definitely tell us. Eventually, ukweli yote ujitokeza tu. Hata wale watu wamejiabduct, si walikuja kujulikana. So, let's wait and see. So, some of the stories that are on this amazing website include this one by Tanya Wanjiku. Kenya moves all marriage documents online through eCitizen. Okay, so what does this mean? It means that the government has rolled out a new digital platform for all marriage registrations, making it mandatory for special marriage licenses and registrar certificates to be processed online. Special marriage certificates, licenses? Anyway.
Well, that's the whole point. If it's online, you can go and figure out what these things are, what it means. Yes.
The AG's office said the shift takes effect immediately, ending the traditional printing and physical distribution of these documents for civil, Christian, and Hindu marriages. According to the Office of the Registrar of Marriages in Nairobi, the online system is intended to make marriage registration simpler, quicker, and more secure. The AG's office clarified that both the public and authorized marriage officers will now handle all applications and downloads through the government's official eCitizen platform at www.ecitizen.go.ke. Nice, awesome. You know, when I was applying for my marriage certificate, license, and whatever that is, went to Sharia House, bro. The lines there. Watu wanaoana. Well, that time watu walikuwa wanaoana sana.
It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed, eh? Watu ni wengi.
People are getting married.
And then I can't even remember what was required, but I gave all the requirements. And then they put it on the notice board. Na wanasema, for example, Paul Mungala Mbuvi is wedding XYZ.
If anyone has any just cause.
Tuambie. But it's on that one billboard alone. Not billboard, sorry. Notice board in their office. So if someone had an objection and they're in Mandera, I doubt they'll come and see that notice board.
Put it this way.
Yeah.
That objection of theirs will remain with them.
Ndio maana unaonanga watu wengi sana, the objection usually comes during the church ceremony. You did your orasio, and you know some people do it chini ya maji. So you've done your orasio. Why are you laughing? Gachagua has come, has negotiated for you. Dede Nyoro led the negotiating team, but clearly on the wedding day is when your official girlfriend or your official wife, the one that you probably had done Rorasho for in Mandera, comes to find out that Allah, Mbuvi is actually getting married today.
Again.
Yeah.
And not to me.
Yes. Many a times I have seen people posting on social media, how could he do this to me? I'm like, what do you mean, how could he do this to you?
While I was laughing, there's a clip I once saw.
Yeah.
These clips, an English a wedding somewhere where people speak English. And usually, does anybody have
an objection?
But the lady walks in and says, yes, I have an objection.
Yes.
Yes, I've come even with the marriage certificate. This guy married me on this and this and this and this and this date.
Yeah.
Blah, blah. So the groom turns. She says, oh, sorry.
Yeah, you're not the one.
Wrong wedding.
I remember that clip. I've seen that. It's a common clip. I've seen it before.
That thing is hilarious. And kanisa ilikuwa imefreeze yote. Oops, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Wrong wedding. Yeah.
That's what I was smirking at when you were speaking. I was thinking, yes, these things are strange, aren't they?
Yes.
But you know something?
Right.
Whenever there are changes, there'll always be an abundance of conversation around it. Because somebody's asking you to look at the issue that you've known differently. And that change, whether it's, yes, let's start mentally, the shift, it means you recognizing something that you hadn't considered in a particular way, that you take something out of you. That's number one. Number two, there is the issue of you internalizing it so that it's part and parcel of the way you do things. That also becomes problematic. People will always protest change. Not because they think it is bad, but it's because it's forcing them to change.
Yeah.
Once they've internalized it and they find it's fine, then after that they will have no problem with it. But that process has to take place.
Yeah. There's another interesting story here. A TSC condemns killing of Garissa teacher and assures family of support. Ruto pushes unity agenda as UDA endorses ODM talks. EACC, FBI unveil modern interview facility to strengthen anti-corruption efforts. Yeah, unajua wamekuwa wakisema ati say watakuja Kenya. That is FBI because of this Minnesota situation. Yeah. The fact that it is alleged that a lot of Somali immigrants who are in Minnesota have defrauded the government of Minnesota and the federal government, of course, of millions of US dollars, and some of that money had been, or rather has been, channeled to not only Somalia but also Kenya and perhaps even to other places. Now, what walikuwa wamesema FBI watakuja hard on these individuals, they'll even come and if they had done any investments here, they'll try and see how, they will recapture or whatever, so that they can repatriate that money back to their country. How possible that is, I honestly don't know.
It is not difficult at all.
Wakipata Sitia is a beneficiary of that Minnesota money, they will come for your home, for instance.
Look at it this way. There are processes. We have certain agreements and understanding with the US. Among the understanding we have with them are something called repatriation. In this country, kutolewa kupeleka US. It requires us having had an agreement with them to allow for such things. Okay, that's why there are people who commit offenses and they go to countries where they know they have no repatriation understanding with that particular country where they've come from.
Yeah.
If the proceeds of this particular wrong has been found to be invested in a property, that property will be forfeit. They will seek permissions for your bank account if your bank account has money. And there's a digital footprint if the money was transferred to you. They will know.
Have you gone to Isili? Have you done transactions in Isili?
Allow me to continue.
Yeah.
Allow me to continue.
Please continue.
Unless you're telling me that money was carried in bags in hundreds of
Walai
millions
hao
of shillings
wanabebanga pesa na mfuko.
na ikaletwa Kenya,
Hiyo pesa.
there will be a footprint. They will find it.
Yeah.
Kenya and the US are not the only place where you have Somalis.
It's true.
You must remember that these are communities that once Somalia, as we knew it, disintegrated, started migrating, and you're talking about in the 1900s, 1990s, okay? Not 2000s. So, all these years, they've been living in where? In countries in the West.
Yes.
They're in Sweden. They're in...
They're in Norway.
They're in Norway.
They're in Germany.
They're in Australia.
Yeah.
They represent a diaspora of Africans from very many African countries who have gone abroad because their countries were too hot to live in. The way money works and the way it is transacted, there are people who are experts in it. Believe me, it doesn't matter what system you use to transfer that money.
Yeah.
They will find it.
Itapatikana.
They will find it.
No, what I was saying is their bank accounts here in Kenya. Hey, bro, I say it's. I don't think they of course not all of them, but you know when and the reason I'm saying this is this is just me. The point here is when I went to whenever I go, because I go very often to Isili, bro, I also prefer cash.
So what?
They'll even tell you there is a till number, not a till number. It's an agent, withdraw money, make the payment.
As I said, so what?
Yeah. So they prefer handling cash as opposed to all these digital transfers.
Believe me. Money always leaves a footprint.
It does. Yes, I agree with you, City.
It doesn't matter whether you carry it in cash.
Shida ni kupata hizo bank accounts mnaweza zipata. One ndio City Abdullah Muhammad akona account hapa ni sawa, lakini I can assure you City your account chances are itakuwa maybe na 2,000 maximum.
Actually, when you transfer money and it's involved in putting up a business, it's involved in setting up, putting up whatever it is that you do.
Yeah.
You only think it doesn't leave a footprint. It always does.
Acha tutauliza Farah. See, we work with a guy called Farah. Acha kuja nitamuuliza. Nimuulize account yake kuna pesa ngapi?
Farah is not from Minnesota.
He's not from Minnesota. I'm talking about
Farah does not represent a big-time businessman who belongs...
This Farah?
Let me repeat again.
I'll introduce you to Farah.
He does not represent a big, short businessman who deals in transactions across continents.
Continents, yes. Across oceans.
Yes, he's not.
Ushasema City. Kuna siku tulienda na Farah kununua mayai pale. Huyu jamaa mimi nalipa na M-Pesa, yeye alikuwa anatoa pesa tu kwa mfuko.
I work with cash. Am I Somali?
I didn't say you're a Somali.
I'm trying to explain to you that everything we do with money leaves a footprint. You don't seem to be understanding what I'm telling you.
All right, City, I get you. I get you, my brother. Let me give Kenyans this thing we like calling traffic updates. And we tell them which roads are passable, the ones they should avoid, and perhaps the ones that are making sense for them right now. For instance, I'm taking a look at Kilimani area. I can promise you that if you're coming from a place called Kabete, no, this is not Kilimani. If you're coming from, where is this, guys? Have I lost myself? Oh yeah, here we are. If you're coming from Agwings Kodek, everything is fantastic. That means same as Center, Cotton Avenue, Dennis Street Road, Oloitoktok, uko kote kuna kaa sawa sawa. Ukielekea sehemu za Lavington, Kileleshwa area, everything is looking fantastico. James Gish James Gishuru Road, there's a little bit of a traffic snarl up at Lavington Mall. But if you're familiar with that particular place, it's because there are several, junctions there. For example, there's Isaac Gavanji Road, kuna Mugumo Road, pale hizo barabara zote, because of the intersection or joining the main James Gishuru, a little bit of traffic. Ndoto Road pia imeshikamana kwa sasa, lakini mnasonga nonetheless. Olenguruone, looking green at this particular hour. Mugumo Road, you guys are moving quite fine. Then there's Nyeri Road as well, haina shida yoyote. Gatundu Crescent, mnakaa mko sawa sawa. Wacha ni move out kidogo, niende sehemu za Ngong. Watu wa Ngong, barabara zenyu zinakaa fiti tena sana. If you're leaving Ngong coming towards Nairobi, everything is fantastic for you. And then there's the famous busy Mombasa Road. If you're leaving Mlolongo, the only place you'll find a little bit of a snarl up is when you're approaching Agol Grand Hotel, then past there, going towards the airport and beyond, everything is looking good. But there's a little bit of a yellow line from if you're on the opposite side of the road going towards Mlolongo, that is from Hilton Garden Inn towards Kappa Oil Refineries, beyond Gateway Mall. A little bit of traffic there, but after that everything else opens up. Could there be an accident there? Because this should be against traffic, so I don't understand why you would be stuck there. But yes, that is what I am seeing at this particular hour. I'm zooming out now to check out Mombasa County. Mombasa County hamna shida yoyote in terms of movement. Nina barabara imeenda up tena. Oh yeah, here we are. So nikiangalia kwa utaratibu pale light Kingeleni, mnasonga vyema kabisa. Fort Jesus pale mko sawa, pembe za ndovu, that Elephant Tusk area, that road very clean. That is Moi Avenue, right? So Moi Avenue nakaiko sawa. New Nyali Bridge as well, you guys are moving quite well. In Kongowea Links Road kule Mkomani, hiyo naona mko sawa sawa. And even on the main island, just a few spots of traffic at Biashara Street and pale ukielekea Mwembe Tayari Road, ukielekea Naivas Mwembe Tayari, hapa peke yake ndipo naona ni kama kuna mshikamano wa barabara ama msongamano wa magari. Nikiangalia sehemu ambayo tumekuwa tukibroadcast for the last couple of days, this is Garissa. Garissa, I'm taking a look at, I'm trying to look for the main highway, Garissa. It's actually called Ngamia Lane. Did you know there's a Ngamia Lane, city?
Wapi?
Garissa.
No, I didn't know.
Yes, I'm just finding out as well. So Garissa, ile barabara kuu iko pale, inajulikana kama, well, it's actually that Garissa highway when you're coming from sehemu za kina Kitui na huko. Hiyo barabara iko sawa kabisa, no traffic whatsoever. Nikiangalia Garissa Rahole Road, also no traffic there. Nikiangalia Harambee Road, hamna shida yoyote. Kuna pale Garissa AP Mosque, hiyo barabara ikielekea towards Hidig Hotel, haina shida yoyote. Ganana Institute of Medical Sciences, that road over there is called what? Actually, it doesn't have a name. Ama mimi ndio sijaangalia vizuri. But yeah, that place, they should name it haina shida yoyote. There's also another spot here. I see there's an Alpha Gym. That road from there also looking very good at this particular hour. If you do see something on the roads that you think rather we should know about, please holla at a brother. Let's start with this newspaper review. I'm looking at the Standard newspaper front page. It says the untouchable, then wameeka exclamation mark. This is the Standard. They're terming it as impunity. Two powerful Mount Kenya politicians, Muranga woman rep Betty Maina and Madira MP Eric Wamombi, are at the center of explosive claims linking them to violent disruptions of former DP Rigathi Gachagua's church meetings. As disturbing scenes involving women and children emerge, the alleged actions have made a mockery of the title honorable, while police inaction has reignited fears that some commanders may be acting at the beck and call of politicians with influence, not the law, determining who is questioned, arrested, or left untouched, raising hard questions about impunity and whether some leaders are truly untouchable. Betty Maina, Muranga woman rep, amekuwa quoted hapa. The alleged use of live bullets by the police did not break a single window glass, nor did anyone come out with gunshot wounds. Your alarm invited the police, who came in cruisers armed with AK-47s, and coincidentally, they rescued you despite your hired goons pelting them with stones. haki angase. Rigathi Gachagua DCP leader amesema hivi, goons converged at the home of Mathira MP Eric Wamombi for briefing, then moved to Witima armed with AK-47 rifles and tear gas canisters before descending on the church they had come they had come to kill. Aya. City.
Yes, sir.
Angalia Daily Nation haraka.
Daily Nation ni vizuri uangalia haraka.
Wanasema storm over Gachagua gun attacks. The clergy has condemned Sunday's disruption of a church service attended by former DP Rigathi Gachagua and demanded an end to the desecration of places of worship by police officers and goons. That story is on page 4 and 5. They're saying cover up? That's the question. After attacks on former deputy president, authorities still vow stern action as perpetrators walk free. Now they're saying in November 2024, suspected Mungiki gang members attacked Gachagua in Limuru in Kiambu.
That one was very dramatic.
Yeah. Then December of 2024, police officers hurled tear gas disrupting meetings at Shamata in Nyandarua. Then April last year, gunfire as Gachagua security men battled goons at PCEA in Mwiki, Nairobi. February last year, goons disrupt Dorcas Gachagua's crusade at Kamukunji grounds in Nyeri. July last year, police goons confront Gachagua allies at AIPCA in Kigumo in Muranga. And then in August 2025, armed youth attack former DP in Nairobi on return from a political tour in the United States. In November, police tear gas DCP leader during a by-election campaign in Narok town. And then still in November last year, goons disrupt Thanksgiving service at PCA Kariobangi North in Nairobi. And then January this year, rowdy youths attempt to block Gachagua from AIPCA in Gatundu South, Kiambu. And then lastly on Sunday, goons and armed police raid ACK church in Othaya, Nyeri, forcing the ex-DP to flee. What unfolded at ACK Witima grieves us deeply. God's children were hurt within the very place meant to shelter them. Children struggled to breathe where prayers should rise freely. This is according to Anglican Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit. How learners who cannot read are progressing to junior school. That story is on page 2. And last but not least, taxpayers face heavier burden as county chiefs set to earn state pension. This one is on page 7. All right, City, over to you.
I'm looking at the Star. Interesting story here. One, cat lady. Nusrat breaks Jinn curse to save stray cats in Mombasa. Wait, what are we saying? There are people within the boundaries of Mombasa County who believe that stray cats represent spirits.
Majini.
That's what they call them.
Deal.
But there's a young lady here called Nusrat Mohammed who actually takes care of stray cats. And it is this process that she has. And by the way, she took an interest in cats when she was a very, very, very young person.
Okay.
Now, this is what people have found strange. Because if we're to go by the jinn mythology, this is a girl who is breeding jinns. But there it is. Breaking the jinx. Today's Star is actually free. Why? Because within the Star newspaper is the MyGov pullout. MyGov pullout, all government advertisements, all the tales about what the government is doing, both county and national, right across the 47 counties. All these things are found in the MyGov pullout within the Star. And today, today's version is free. In the politics section, handshake gaps open doors for Ruto in Raila's stronghold. Marginalization to fear, page 7. Oh, really?
Okay.
Then back in the middle of the paper, there is a picture of the President, William Ruto, and the Wiper leader, Kalonzo Musyoka, and inside Wiper's bid to position Kalonzo for Ruto showdown. Okay? Politics for you.
All right.
Bang in the middle of the paper, this is something a bit concerning. There is a research that was conducted among young people, okay? And one of the things that it found out, this is a research by KEMRI, the Kenya Medical Research Institute, but 1 in 10 men in Nairobi, 1 in 10 is struggling with erectile dysfunction, according to the KPC researchers. Erectile dysfunction is when a man has trouble getting or keeping an erection that is strong enough for sex.
Okay. This is in Nairobi, you say?
We're talking about Nairobi city. We haven't moved anywhere else.
Okay.
Okay?
How many work in this company?
In which company? Camry.
Just continue.
There's a question you're asking.
Your mind has gone now.
Yes, it went
I'm
somewhere
getting
else.
granular now.
Yes.
So when they say 1 in 10, it means that in every vicinity where we have 10 men, chances are one of them has got a dysfunction.
As an ED.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Now, one of the things that they say that many of the participants, research projects require people to volunteer to participate. They give their consent and then they participate.
Okay.
They reported cigarette smoking, cannabis use, alcohol use, and recreational drug use as part of their history. Okay? This is the first known study to quantify ED prevalence among young Kenyans under 35 years of age outside a clinical setting. Okay? The authors affiliate to the Kenya Medical Research Institute and Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, okay?
Yeah.
They linked the rampant erectile dysfunction, psychological distress, and low levels of physical activity, pointing to acquired but significant public health issue among young people. Okay?
Yep.
Unakaa remote. Everything, you're seated, minimal movement,
Yes.
smoking,
Right.
consuming copious amounts of alcohol, drugs, recreational and otherwise, etc., etc.
You know, when we were young, I was the remote in our house because we had that black and white TV, and you had to, change the channel using that big knob.
You had to change the channel physically.
Yeah, so you go to the TV screen, and it was on this side of the TV, right side of the screen.
To the right side.
Yeah, so the screen is on this side, then the controls are here. So that means volume and then the channel knob. And yeah, it had that
Yes.
movement. So I was the remote in our house.
Good for you.
My dad would tell me, go at volume, because we only had one channel. So the only thing you'd change is the volume.
One of the things that was pointed out with this problem is
Yeah.
the number of young people who self-medicate. They have a problem, they self-diagnose, and then they self-medicate. And there'll be a friendly pharmacist who will afford you the drugs that you want. Yes. Stress.
Yeah. Stress levels really wreaking havoc.
Yes, and the reasons why there are these stresses are many.
So all this is tied to this ED situation.
Hiyo ndio wanasema this is what is bringing about this ED situation.
Also, diseases such as diabetes contributing to erectile dysfunction.
They do. They actually do significantly. And unfortunately, there are very many young people, contrary to the thinking that there are certain diseases, these non-communicable diseases, were to be found in older people. That is no longer the truth. No.
Low blood pressure also contributing to
significantly
erectile dysfunction. But like you said, stress. Because one of the things that this is when you go to any medical facility to be treated on things to do with erectile dysfunction. One of the things that the doctor will recommend is a psychiatric, profile for you, just to confirm that everything else is okay, stress-wise, or psychologically, mental-wise. Your mental health is intact, because hiyo pia ina contributing significantly to problems with the rest of the body. So something we need to consider.
Yes, there's a story here on page 4 which I need to mention. Wage bill is what they call it. Court affirmed that salaries agencies' input is constitutionally required. What are we talking about? MPs PSC suffers huge blow in pay fight with the Salaries Commission. MPs, judges, and Public Service Commission have suffered a major legal setback in their ongoing battle with the Salaries and Remuneration Commission over public sector pay. The judgment by Justice Bahati Mwamuye, which nullified President William Ruto's 21 advisory officers, has also strengthened the mandate of SRC to regulate salaries and benefits across all arms of government. Justice Mwamuye declared that SRC advisory role on remunerations and fiscal implications is a mandatory constitutional step in establishing public offices and setting pay. holding that bypassing it renders such processes unlawful. The judge emphasized the prudent and responsible use of public funds as mandated under Article 201D cannot be achieved without the SRC's oversight. Okay? Yes. Government at work.
Serikali yetu.
Yes, Parliament does a thing, the President seeks to have a thing achieved, the court tells them, stop. While we are stopping, these 21 advisors you have, not constitutional.
Yeah.
So tell them to go and look for real jobs somewhere else.
It is what it is, man.
It is what it is, as you say. Yes.
Umalizako na magazeti.
Mimi kuisha malisa.
Right. Acha nisalimie watu kadhaa hapa before tuendelee. There is Evelisha saying live from Minnesota Detention Center. Albert Kiviri, morning movie NCT looking sharp as always from Mogadishu. City, how do you say Mogadishu?
It is Mogadishu. How else should I say it?
I realized that because we are not native speakers of Somali language, it's actually because I've had several.
How is it pronounced?
Mogadishu.
Mogadishu.
Yeah, and I'm saying this because
not with feigned humor.
No.
Yes,
but
well,
yeah. So every time I speak with a native of Somalia, forget Somali speakers in Kenya. I'm talking about natives of Somalia. They just don't say Mogadishu. Because that's we are used to saying just Mogadishu.
We've anglicized it.
Yes. But I say wanasemanga Mogadishu. And every time I actually listen to them, even when I'm watching them on TV, because I stumble upon a lot of these conversations online. Sisi vile nasemanga Mogadishu hapa bwana, au nasemanga Mogadishu. So yes. Then we also have the evaluations. Ask City, with all that's happening in Kenya, how has the country stayed afloat, and what does this mean for Kenyans in the diaspora moving back?
What often happens with the things that you're reading is this.
Yes.
When you have a democracy like Kenya that has been emboldened by a constitution such as the 2010 constitution.
Yes.
One of the freedoms we have, among the freedoms we have, is our right to actually be informed. Okay? You will have freedom of the press. You'll have freedom of assembly. And once you have these freedoms that are enshrined in the constitution,
right,
and the freedom to proliferate the information, what you're doing is you get to hear and know what's happening. In many countries where such freedoms don't exist, the same things happen, just that you don't get to read about them every day, but they happen.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, for instance, do you imagine that what we saw in Tanzania when they're having the elections, it came about on the day of the election?
No. It's been there. It exhibited itself on that day. But it had been there.
It had been there. It was festering, it was growing, it wasn't even being reported. See, here it will be reported. You'll be told, my friend, this is, so you know.
Yes.
There we know what had been in the background because of that eruption. We know. Because it didn't just happen. It had been there.
Yeah.
Yes. So.
Interesting.
So, my friend, I was talking to someone the other day who told me,
yeah,
me, I'm afraid, we don't have a country. And I asked him, what do you mean?
But there are people living there.
I asked him, what do you mean? You and I are talking, we live in this country. So what do you mean we don't have a country? See, the things I'm reading, things that are happening. I said, yes. Are they happening everywhere at the same time? And in every corner of the country? He said, no. So what are you afraid of? So the news tells you specifically what is happening in a specific place. Okay? Wamushomba was attacked. Not Wamushomba. Wamunyoro. Gachagua, Wamunyoro. It is in Nyeri. Odaya.
Yeah.
One place.
If you ask people in Isiolo, they are okay.
Ask people anywhere else in the country, they didn't experience that.
Watu wa Kariobangi wako tu sawa.
Everybody else didn't have the problem. Okay? There was a meeting that was called by ODM in a place called Siala Resort. I'm told places were vandalized, hoodlums came in. You haven't heard a report of it, but it happened. They didn't go to cause harm. It's just that once it was open to the public, they are members of the public. Remember the concerned citizens I mentioned? Yes, sometimes they take their concern a bit too far.
Yeah.
And I'm told they took their concern a little far. People went to the kitchen, they went and ate, they went and did all manner of things. Okay? But it happened in that place. It didn't happen. In fact, if you go to Kisumu town, it didn't happen.
People are not concerned there.
No.
Yeah.
If that region, nothing of that sort happened. It happened in that one spot. Yes.
But you know, there's a way Kenyans talk. And I used to be part of that gang that used to talk like that until, of course, because of my interactions with the rest of the world, I learned to speak in a different way, right? Ukiona kitu kadogo unasema yeye sasa sisi tumeisha unaona kinyo nafanya tumeisha, but you realize kusema kweli hatujaisha ni hao tu ndio wameisha,
hata wao hawajaisha,
na pia hawajaisha.
Shida tu
ni ka situation tu ambako
the following day people went back to their lives.
Exactly.
Some people may have gone to hospital, some may have been harmed, but people went back to their lives.
Yeah.
The people whose cars were damaged have a problem because they now have to pay. They have a problem. Their cost they have to incur.
Yeah.
All right.
You see, like during the 2024 mandamano, the anti-finance bill mandamano that
triggered off all these things that were now.
Yeah, yes. That the ones that morphed into something else. I'm telling you, kuna mahali sikuwai nimewahi ona shida or drama, and I'm talking about Mlolongo. For the longest time, that area of Syokimau, Mlolongo, all the way to Athi River, and even Kitengela.
Peaceful.
Yes.
Then.
Yes. So, as a resident of that area, nilikuwa nashanga, why are people scampering for safety here? You know, and I'm looking at people saying, usiende kwa barabara, usiende kwa main road, kumeharibika. And I'm like, why? People in this area have always been peaceful. Why is it now that we can't go to the roads? We can't.
Mandamano had come to Kitengela.
For the very first time.
But it also came in the form where there are hoodlums who are breaking into shops. There are people who are breaking into people's cars. So it was no longer mandamano.
Yeah, it became something else.
It was mayhem.
And for me, I was like, at that particular time, I was like, wow, enye Kenya imeharibika, Kenya imechomeka. But to be honest, Kenya iko imechomeka. Ni Mlolongo na Kitengela na zile sehemu zingine zilikuanga na shida zilikuwa zimechomeka. So, yes, I agree with you. Perhaps people who, and this one is to the diasporans, those who are outside there, they might, the only thing they might see about this country is the negative news, especially during maandamano. But there are other things that happen. People go to clubs and enjoy themselves.
Life goes on.
Yes. Hospitals, children are being born on a daily. Yes.
Well, in 1982, we had a coup attempt. It found me in Nairobi. Now, I had actually gone to visit my brother who was at Kenyatta when it happened. So it found me in Kenyatta. When we eventually let go of, we're traveling to Mombasa by bus. The moment you left Nairobi, that's when you realize the problem was in Nairobi, nowhere else.
Yeah.
When we were stopped, we're not being stopped because we're afraid now. The cops were stopping to ask us what is happening in Nairobi.
Because they also didn't know.
No, they didn't know.
Yeah.
We got to Mombasa. We got to Jomvu. We were stopped. We were all told to get our university students out. Okay? I was no longer a student. I had graduated the year before.
Right.
My brother stepped out, so I had to go and report to my parents that my brother
has been arrested.
He and others. They were not arrested. They were just put somewhere.
Detained.
No. They were even told to have a cup of tea while they were being asked what's happening in Nairobi.
So the cops were gathering.
They wanted to find out what's
information.
Happening. Yes, they wanted to know what's happening. Because somehow their communication had been shut down. All manner of things was happening. Believe me, sometimes the alarms are not without reason.
Yeah.
But sometimes they are not necessary. A focus onto the reality of what's happening is absolutely necessary.
Yeah.
We do have problems in the country. When you hear of a problem in the Kerio Valley, it's in the Kerio Valley.
Yeah.
That's it. Kerio Valley. Kerio Valley is one spot. Kerio Valley is not in Eldoret town. Kerio Valley is not in Webuye. Kerio Valley is not in Baringo.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? Even as we consume information, we need to consume it responsibly and also contextualize the reality of what is happening and understand what is happening, where it's happening, and pause and ask if somebody knows why it's also happening.
Yes. All right. We want to get into the news right now. And as we do that, let me just check out another conversation here. Another message, brother. Oma? Hey. Acha niseme Ibrahim. Morning City and Movie, big up for the great show. Invite the health ministry someday. We need that data on payments to hospitals next to schools as well. We deserve the info. City, do you understand this? Payments to hospitals? Are you talking about SHA, Ibrahim? Because that one was explained. Saa zingine hizi mahospitali ndizo hazipatiani, hazijafanya the correct paperwork, and that is what is delaying their payments. Otherwise, SHA is ready to disburse those amounts, and that information were given by the PS Oluga, Dr. Oluga, and it was also again reiterated here. I think it was on Thursday by the PS for Public Health.
Yes.
PS Mary Mudhoni. Lydia Cheron amesema good morning, my good people. Happy Texas. Happy, I'm assuming this is a happy day, happy morning. Texas is watching. Lydia Cherono, asante tena sana for coming through. This is where we come to a stop as far as these conversations are concerned. Here is the news with Winnie Maganga.
This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. The murder trial of Multimedia University student Sylvia Kemunto, who was killed in 2025, formally began on Monday at Kibera Law Courts, with 8 witnesses taking the stand. The court session was marked by emotional scenes as Kemunto's mother broke down in tears. Prosecutors told the court that the accused, Eric Mutinda, confessed to a friend that he had committed the sin before fleeing. Deputy President Kithure Kindiki has denied any involvement in the chaos that disrupted a church service in Nyeri on Sunday, which was attended by former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. In a statement, Kindiki said images circulating on social media do not show any officer or staff linked to his office. He dismissed claims linking him to the incident, calling them desperate attempts to associate him with criminal activity. Vihiga Governor Wilbur Otichilo is under scrutiny of an authorized payment of 5 million Kenya shillings used to host a housewarming party for the county assembly speaker. Appearing before the Senate County Public Accounts Committee, the governor struggled to explain why money meant to pay contractors was instead spent on the event held on December 15th, 2023 at the speaker's residence. The committee has given Governor Otichilo until the end of the current financial year, failure to which the matter will be referred to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission.
The money that was given was for the official opening of the Speaker's house. That's what I know, but the writing
Governor, the narration here.
The narration here.
The narration is borrowing to finance Speaker's house warming. When Parliament assemblies have gone on recess,
Which
5 million. Those are 3 ECD classrooms.
Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe has given maize traders 30 days to release hoarded maize into the market. He warned that if supplies remain low, the government will allow duty-free maize imports to bring down the cost of maize flour. Kagwe said the government prefers to buy maize from local farmers to boost the national food reserves, but imports will be considered if enough maize is not supplied within the 1-month deadline.
Somebody somewhere is keeping maize, anagojea asikie drought imeenda baya zaidi, ndio pengine bei iende hapo juu kidogo. But we can't take that risk as a country. I would like to appeal to those people who are holding maize, farmers who are keeping maize, to bring maize to us in the next 30 days. After 1 month, if we don't have enough strategic reserves for the country, we will then move to the next stage, which is importing duty-free maize.
The White House said Monday that President Donald Trump does not want to see people hurt or killed in the United States, even as anger grows over 2 deaths in Minneapolis during a federal immigration enforcement operation. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called the weekend shooting death of 37-year-old Alex Pretty by federal agents a tragedy, But Levitt also blamed the Democratic leaders in Minnesota for the unrest, saying their resistance to federal immigration actions helped fuel the situation.
I would also like to address the chaotic scenes in Minnesota over the weekend. Nobody in the White House, including President Trump, wants to see people getting hurt or killed in America's streets. This includes Renee Good, Alex Preddy, the brave men and women of federal law enforcement, and the many Americans who have been victimized at the hands of illegal alien criminals. Saturday's shooting remains under active investigation by Homeland Security Investigations and the FBI.
And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning. I'm Winnie Maganga.
Radio Generation. The home of urban soul. Radio Generation. The home of urban soul. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast, curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast, your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
A very good morning to you and welcome back. This is Radio Generation. The time right now is exactly 6.5 minutes past 7 o'clock. And in studio, we want to talk about the Kenya Pipeline IPO. But before we do that, salamu zimfikie Tupac Shakur. Amesema amerudi. Sijui alikuwa ameenda wapi, lakini tumeshukuru umerudi. Na kama ulikuwa umeenda mbali sana, pia ni sawasawa. Hata ukiwa huko, you can find us on radiogeneration.co.ke. And this one is for every single person. If you also want to find us in Garissa, we're on 89.5 FM. And we are in Mombasa on 90.7 FM. And right here at the HQ, it is Nairobi, that is 88.8 FM. In studio, like I told you, we do have Susan Rigitha. She is the head of customer service and trading, Francis Drummond and Company Stockbrokers. I hope I'm saying this correctly. And we want to unpack the Kenya Pipeline Company initial public offering. So, Susan, karibu tena sana to Radio Generation.
Asante sana, and thank you for having me.
Right.
Yes.
So I've said it correctly. Drummond. Or is it Drummond?
Drummond.
Oh, it's Drummond.
Yes.
Unajua mimi saa zingine nasomanga kila kitu kama Kiswahili.
Yeah.
DRU kwa ni Drew. But welcome to Radio Generation.
Asante.
And a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
And it looks like at the Drummond Company, you guys are having a proper new year.
Yes, we are.
Yeah?
Yes, we are.
Kindly help us understand, what is an initial public offering?
In simple terms, this is a company or an institution that is coming into the market looking for funds. Maybe they want to raise funds for expansion, to diversify their business, instead of them going to the bank and getting the traditional loans. So it's for them to even giving people opportunities to just have that stake in that company.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, and this, of course, you have witnessed this happening over and over for a very long period of time. Is it usually a tedious process? What is usually involved? How do people even get to buy these shares or stock?
I wouldn't say it's tedious, but it's a bit lengthy because, before they come with a price, they have to value the company. Then they'll come with a price, specific price. Then now they will be able to go to the public and tell them, we have this number of shares and we are selling these shares to the public at this price. And they will give you the minimal number of shares that you are going to buy. Yes.
Because I remember, for example, when we had the Safaricom IPO, For me at that time, I was a bit younger, so I was hearing terms and they were really confusing. For example, I had people had to open a certain kind of account.
Yes.
Mimi nilikuwa nadhani I just walk into NSC or Safaricom and I tell them, look, here's my 20,000, give me stocks. But that's not how it happens.
No, it don't.
Yeah. So what is required before someone is able to buy a stock?
You must have a CDS account.
CDS.
Yes.
Okay.
Previously, you didn't have to have a CDS account. You'd either just come to application and you'll be issued with a certificate after their location. But now going forward, the CDSC, Central Depository, that was phased off. The certificates were phased off. So now you must have a CDS account.
Okay.
This is where you hold all your shares. Yes.
What is the full name for CDS? You said it's a what?
Central Depository Settlement. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that account, I can hold it at any bank, or there's specific banks that have this account?
It's any bank or any stockbrokers.
Okay.
Yes.
So if any bank, I can just walk into them and tell them, look, give me a CDS account.
Yes, as long as they have the stockbrokering license or investment banking license.
So not all banks have this license?
Not all banks have, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And the only way I can know is by asking my bank. Tell them, hey, I want to buy these KPC shares.
Yeah.
Do you guys have this CDS? They tell you, hey, Sasa bro, Aduna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But now you've brought in another bank, an investment bank. Yeah.
Yes.
What is the difference between an investment bank, and a normal bank?
Investment bank are the ones who advise. If the company wants to raise the money, they are the advisories they're the ones who will do the valuation. They will come up with the price. They're the ones who will take you through the company now that is raising the funds. They're the ones who will take you through all that process.
Yes. Like there's one bank that has really come up during this KPC thing. Faida Bank. Are they the only ones doing this? Are there several banks also in this process, or are we dealing with Faida and Faida alone?
No, you see, it's you must have a transactional advisor. So FIDA is a transactional advisor. Then Dyer & Blair, they are the lead sponsoring broker. And then Francis Drummond is the co-sponsoring broker.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, let's walk through this slowly.
Okay.
Fine. FIDA Bank are the transactional advisors.
Yes.
What do transactional advisors do?
Transactional advisors are the ones who will advise the company. They will do for you all the nitty-gritty, all the work. The company...
This process that you want to go through for raising funds, they're the ones who will do all the paperwork for you to enable you to actually get the funds that you want.
Exactly.
That's like who on the advisor.
Who on the advisor.
Okay.
The lead is they're the ones who will now take those papers and take them to the Capital Markets Authority for their approval and to the Nairobi Securities Exchange. The regulators. They're the ones who will take the paperwork for approval.
Okay.
Yes.
So this approval is that whatever it is that you're seeking, they say it is okay. We have given you the okay for you to look for funds.
Funds, yes.
And the funds you're looking for are from the public.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then there's this third group.
The third group, co-sponsoring, it's a co-sponsoring. So the lead sponsoring and the co-sponsoring, they work together.
So the co-sponsoring now is where now you have the broker,
yes,
the stockbroker.
The stockbroker.
This is the person who deals with stocks and shares and this and that, and that's where you people come in.
Yes, that is where we come in. Yeah.
So, I'm still trying to understand this bank, this investment banking. Are investment investment banks, are they regulated by CMA or by central bank?
They are regulated by CMA, Capital Markets Authority, and also they are under Nairobi Securities Exchange. Yeah. And
let me just ask this question. I know it might sound very stupid, but I'll ask it anyway. Can I have an account with an investment bank where I withdraw money daily?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay. This actually, there is a Chinese wall between investment banking and a stockbroker. You'll find a firm, they have a stockbroking section, and you'll find there's the investment banking.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
So
these are just advisories. The investment banking is just advisory and just helping you raise capital.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you say Chinese wall, you mean the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing completely, and they're not allowed to.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll not tell my employer today to redirect my salary to an investment bank. Eh?
No.
Right,
No, you won't.
now that one I have understood. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now, the KPC IPO has been really publicized, obviously.
Yes.
A lot has been said about it, and to a very large extent, it has also been politicized.
Yes.
But what is the reality on the ground? Is this a good idea? Privatizing Kenya Pipeline Company. What are some of the advantages of actually doing this?
You see, privatization of this company, it has been a long journey. Since 2008, we've seen KenGen been privatized, we've seen Safaricom, and this has been success stories. So even for KPC was also on the pipeline. It's only that now, this year, it was a good time for this to happen. Yes, and it's a good game changer for the country because, first of all, we have the investors' confidence and even allowing people to have a stake in these shares. And also, the advantage is that there's capital gain. You buy shares there when they are low, when they sell when they are high, and also you'll expect dividends from such a company. And KPC is a good company. It's a huge company, so definitely with their dividends, I'm sure they are going to give a good dividend.
Yeah. How do we tell that this company has got X number of shares? This has always been mind-boggling for me because it's easy for me to value this phone, for example. But how do you value a company and say the available shares or stock X amount of money valued at this?
The transactional advisor now, they have
now this is, in this case, it's Dyer and Blair.
No,
this is now FIB.
Yes,
okay.
FIDA.
All right.
They have to engage the valuers. They have to really do all the work, like go to the company, look at their assets. Those are the kind of things that will come up with the pricing. So the valuation has to really be done, and it has to be done right for them to come with the right price and for them to know the value of the shares.
What is a share?
A share is owning a part of a stake in a company. Oh yes, that is what I'll put
Opening you own a fraction of it.
Yeah, a fraction of it.
Okay, now, if I understand, Paul is asking, you've understood the value of this company.
Yes.
These fractions, how do you arrive at the number of fractions that a company has? Because you hear 500 shares, 5 million shares, 10 million shares.
There's what we call the PE ratios. That is now the whole calculation field that the researchers go through. They're the ones who come up with these kind of calculations.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, for example, if we were to have an IPO for radio generation, they'll come look at all our assets first of all.
Assets,
so these microphones, the computer.
What comprises the assets?
Every asset that is could be sellable, that is valued, that has value in it. Even this chair.
Including the presenters?
No.
You're not Property City.
You're not a property.
No. Actually, we are a property.
Yes? Okay. Explain.
We are a property because this is a media house. A media house, in the absence of the people who work in it, like presenters, has actually no value.
Okay.
The value that the media house has is not just the production capacity, but the people who
the human resource.
Yes, exactly. So the value of the human resource is very pivotal.
Okay.
To it.
I mean, yeah, it does make sense, Susan.
Yeah.
So are they able to value the human resource and say radio generation has got, say, 70 employees, and this 70 employees, this is their output, so it is measured in terms of value at this much? Or do they look at our salaries and say movie earns 5,000, so the value of movie in this company is 5,000? How do they value a human resource?
Human resource, it comes with now the salaries, how the remuneration, how much they earn, because all all that, remember we have to go through the financial statements,
Yes.
the last financial statement, and the remuneration is also included. So human capital is also included in it. Yes.
So you say they check out the chairs, so they look at this console, the microphones, and then they say, okay. So, and then of course, if we own the land and the building, they say, so radio generation is valued at say 50 million. So radio generation is worth 50 million, right? Then those 50 million shares, or how will
no, that is the value.
Yes, that is the value.
That is the value. So the number of shares will now depend with also the shareholders, how much they have contributed and so on. That is how now you'll come in and know the real value of the whole company.
So let's say we have 4 directors and each one of them owns 25%, right?
Yeah.
So that means that each one of them owns about 12.5 million.
Yes.
So those are 4 shares.
Those are 4 shares, yes.
So that's how they value them.
Yes.
So they'll say the initial public offer for radio generation, 4 shares each valued at 12.5 million.
Yes.
Now I get it.
Now when you want to sell it to the public, because it's now 4 shares, how do you then chop it up into these small bits so that the fractions become more, so more people can buy?
Now, all those calculations, I'm not very good in that.
No, you just give us an overview so that we understand.
Yeah. What I know is that they will do the rationing. They have to do the per earnings per share. So all those calculations, so that you come to those small numbers you're talking about.
Yes,
the ratio.
So if it's 50 million and there are 4 people,
yes,
we know what a quarter would mean.
Yes.
So now if you want to sell it and you decide the value of the quarter is X, okay? But you want now 1,000 other people to buy it.
You divide that by 1,000.
By 1,000, yes.
And then we say these shares now are valued at this amount of money. Actually, if you take 50 million as the full amount, then we say divide 50 million by 1,000. So that means a share in this case will be 50,000.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You see, we can sell this company. I hope don't say just scare your party. Msiponiona kesho mjue my shares were sold. Now, this KPC IPO, of course, it's been hyped, it's been mentioned.
Yeah.
So what exactly is going to happen when now? Okay, first of all, is it open? Can I go and buy a KPC share today?
Yes, it is open.
Ishafunguliwa. Okay.
Up to 19th of next month.
Why such a short time?
They only gave a duration of a month. Yeah.
But it can be extended if
we are praying it. They extend it. Yes.
Wait. What brings about an extension? I take it that there's a target you want to meet.
Yes.
So, if you meet the target before the 19th, then do you close it?
No, we can't close it. It will have to close on the 19th.
On the 19th?
Yes.
Okay, but if you don't meet the target by the 19th...
Yeah, it might...
Then the window for an extension comes in.
Yes.
But on the 19th, it will have to close fast.
It will have to close.
Because that is cast on stone.
Yes.
Then now we decide after this to realize, okay, so we have about 1 million shares that haven't been sold. Do we reopen the markets?
Yes,
exactly. We open. Yes. Then now people continue buying. Oh, I didn't know it's actually open.
Yeah, it is open.
All right.
Yeah.
So I want to buy a share. How much is a share currently being sold for?
It's going for 9 shillings.
Okay.
Yes.
9 shillings.
9 shillings.
I understand there's a minimum people buy. You just go. Can I go there and just say I want 1 share?
No.
Shilingi 9 and then say thank you very much.
No, there's a minimum of 100 shares. So that 900. Is 900 shares.
I need
900 shillings. Sorry.
900 shillings. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
So that is 100 shares. Maximum?
There's no maximum.
No.
But there is, you can't go beyond some, as an individual. There's a maximum that definitely maybe you can't go. Yeah.
Because someone like Elon Musk can be sitting there in the US nasikia kuna kampuni Kenya inauzwa na nunue yote na mimi niko hapa nikitafuta tushilingi hapa na pale ninunue shares. Yeah, and then I find someone has gone with all.
But there's that regulation, like if you're an individual, you can't own maybe more than 5% of the company. Yes. Yeah. So there is all those regulations.
Right. But another company can buy this company. Okay.
Yes, you can do even corporate, which any other company can also participate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So today Radio Generation can decide to buy 1,000
Yes.
shares and own them as Radio Generation.
Yes, and you also get your dividends as the shareholders. When they are dividing their dividends, you also be able to get your dividends.
Wakenya wanapenda chama pia. So chamas can also buy
Even
this.
chamas can buy. Yes, everyone actually is just involved.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why is there a limitation that, like you mentioned, where
5%?
Yes.
Because as he said, Elon Musk might come and say, I want to own these shares. So you see, there is that. They must limit. There must be like a cut off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kenya Pipeline Company. No, let's talk Safaricom first. Can we talk Safaricom?
Yes.
Okay. What is the government shareholding in Safaricom?
It was around...
I had 35, was it?
Yeah. Around 35%.
Around 35%. Okay. Which means there are 65% out there.
Yes.
Who owned 65%?
There was part of it was Vodacom, but yes, continue please.
No, it's okay. Yeah, there was Vodacom.
I think he bought some Safaricom shares. The way he's talking.
Yes.
Actually, no. Interestingly enough, when they were being sold at the time, I was very broke. But yeah.
Yes, there is now Vodacom who is part of it, and also the other foreigners who have participated in the shareholding. Yeah.
So that 65 is divided among how many groups?
I would say like 4 groups.
Like 4 groups.
Yeah.
Do we have locals who also own part of that 65%?
Yes, we do.
So with the 35%, does it therefore mean that the government is considered a major shareholder?
Yes, it still does.
It does.
Yeah.
What percentage do you need to have of a company for you to be considered a major shareholder?
5% also.
5?
Yes, it has to be 5%.
You know, Bede City, 5% is quite a number.
It's quite a number.
It's a huge number.
I can count up to 100.
Yes.
That's why 5 for me.
Kidogo inakani kidogo.
Yes.
Because if you look at, for example, government owning 35% of a company, that means if you have 5%, the government only has six times more than you.
Yes.
So you're actually a very significant shareholder of 5%. I mean, of 100%.
So of this 35%, how much of it were we letting go of?
Of the?
In Safaricom?
We were letting go of around 65% also.
65% of the 35%?
Yeah.
That's about 20%. Let me just confirm that.
But we're still major shareholders.
Yes.
Through the government.
Through the government.
No. Even that the government, I'm involved. What do you mean?
I know. I'm just confirming.
Mean sovereign.
No,
I'm referring to our money, which is in Safaricom.
Yes, you're right.
If you're not patriotic and you don't know this is your money, you're in shida yako.
You're right.
Pesa yetu ambayo tunauza hii ya Safaricom. You must refer to it appropriately, okay? How do we determine, because this has been a bone of contention for many people listen and people who've been commenting, that what was offered is considered a fair price for it to be sold at. This has been a discussion and a discussion and a discussion.
The 34 shillings.
34 shillings. How do you decide 34? Because I wanasema you tungepata 50. I don't know how they came up with the 50, but 34.
Okay, to be honest, I haven't been following up on that that one for Safaricom currently, because we were so much involved
in this one here.
Yes, yeah.
The question I'm asking is, how do you determine what is a good price? That's really what I'm asking.
It should be a fair price to the investors.
Yes.
And affordable. But you see, also the government needs to sell at a fair price for them to even gain. Yeah.
Because the government sells because it needs the money.
It's not complicated. Exactly. And it doesn't also want to sell at a loss.
No, it doesn't want to sell but it is not possible for them to sell at a loss. What they can sell at is probably below what you may refer to as marketed. But at a loss, no. Given what they bought the shares at, it is, and given what the shares are worth now, it isn't possible for them to sell at a loss. That is simply not possible.
Yeah.
The question is, how well can they do with the selling of it? How much? What is the best that they can do? That actually, in my mind, seems to be a discussion. So let's go to KPC.
Yeah.
Before we go to KPC,
all right,
I just want to ask her something. I don't know if you saw what Honorable Didi Nyoro and the Honorable Babu said about the sale of Safaricom shares. So first of all, I've confirmed the government is selling 15% of that.
15%, okay, sorry.
Yeah, but the thing is here, Babu said that it would be a good thing if it was sold locally to just
To
open
the
it
locals.
to locals, so that it can still remain Kenyan owned at the end of the day. And then of course Nyoro was saying that let's list it in the New York Stock Exchange, in the London Stock Exchange, and other foreign exchange whatever platforms, so that we can first of all make it a very competitive process, and out of it we shall get the highest bidder, therefore the best price. Both of these individuals, I feel, from where I see it, were right.
How?
Because we sell
how are they right?
We sell it to Kenya. It still belongs a Kenyan company, right?
Yes.
And we still avoid giving Vodacom such a huge stake, because it already has such a huge stake, in the company. And then if we sell it also on the international securities exchanges, we get a very good price for it, because the highest bidder obviously gets the whatever. So both, I feel, were right.
But doesn't Didi Nyoro know that the stock exchange we have here has foreigners participating in it? Does he know that?
I am just following.
No, I am also just saying that does he know that foreigners actually participate very actively in the stock exchange that we have here?
As someone who holds a master's in economics, I hope he does. I hope he does. But now here's a question.
Yes, he does. Yes.
So here's my question. With all these options available, and we're being told by these politicians, and then the government just deciding to say, we want to sell it specifically to Vodacom. Is it really a good idea from where you sit?
For me, I think it is a good idea, because you see diversification and also trying to widen our market.
Yes.
I think if we even go to the New York Stock Exchange, I think it will be good for the exchange. And this right now we're in the bull market. So that means that our share market out there will be even the participants for the foreigners. And I think that will make the market to still continue rallying.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, I think it's a good plan.
Yeah. Situmesikia bull market.
I have understood, as opposed to a bear market. I understand that.
Yes.
But the point I'm making by asking this question is there's theoretical economics. Where someone tells you, ideally, this is what we should do. The sale of shares, such as the one we are talking about, has very many permeations that we are not discussing here. One, why does the government want to sell its shares? It wants to raise money, it needs the money, okay? Why Vodacom? There's a reason why they're selling to Vodacom. Because the government also has economists who understand the stock market, everything we're talking about here. They understand, and they are in the treasury. They actually understand all these things. And these discussions must have taken place. So the question I would ask is, why did they decide on Vodacom? Why not choose the other options? Because those options didn't appear when they were mentioned. These options have always been there. And I'm sure there were other people, I am certain, there were other people who also had an interest. So the question is, why Vodacom?
For me, I think it has to go through the due process.
Yes.
Of tendering, and you get the best bidder.
Yes.
I think it was a fair bidding process. Yeah.
All right, sasa ulikuwa urudi kwa KPC.
Kwani hatuko KPC?
Sasa hizi tumetoka kwa Safaricom.
But was Safaricom. Okay, turudi KPC.
Vodacom ilikuwa kwa Safaricom. In terms of because you've already told us how pricing is done, and then we get to know that, okay, so this is the amount of money that a share costs. When they start trading, we see sometimes stock goes up, sometimes it goes down. What determines the valuation at the time of trading? Because there are times you unamka asubuhi unapata haya isha imefika from 9, I bought it initially at 9 bob, this morning it's at 20 bob. This is a good time to sell. What brings about the fluctuations?
There are so many factors that determine the fluctuation of a share. in the course of that day. Maybe there is some corporate information, negatively, positively, that will impact the price. And the price that opens the market the following day is the last trading price of the previous day. So, and it will not go above 10% or below 10%.
Really?
Yes.
On that particular day.
On that particular
So if
day.
it ended at 24 shillings last night, or rather when the whatever closed yesterday, so this morning it will open at 24.
Yes.
But at close of business today, it will not go above 10% of 24 shillings.
Yes.
So that is about 2 shillings, yeah?
Yeah.
So it won't go beyond 2 shillings and 4 cents.
It won't.
What if it does?
No, it can't. Actually, when you even press in the system, it will reject that order. Yes. It will tell you then the price is maybe not valid.
Yeah. So those are is that by design, or is it dictated by just how the market operates?
It's the way the market operates, and also it's by design.
Yeah.
Because you see, it's a regulation. Yeah, we don't want to have prices all over. But during the corporate action, let's say there's an announcement of a certain company today, that day it can trade at whatever prices beyond 10%, below 10%.
Wait, if what happens?
During the corporate action, that is during the, let's say there's a declaration of a dividend, there is any corporate action within that company. So that day, the counter can trade at whatever price.
Where? Let me use examples of tomatoes. So let's say myself, I'm selling tomatoes, you're selling, and then City is selling. We are the only three of us are the only tomato sellers in this region.
You're not asking me what I would like to sell. Maybe I want to sell onions.
No. There's a reason I'm using tomatoes.
All right, let's take with the tomatoes. Yes.
There's a reason I'm using tomatoes. God forbid your tomatoes are destroyed, they burn. Cities are also destroyed and they burn. So I'm the only person selling tomatoes here. And I can determine what price I will sell these tomatoes, because at the end of the day, I am now the monopoly as far as tomatoes are concerned, right? So because hakuna mtu mwingine anauza, and initially tomatoes were selling for 10 shillings, I now decide one tomato is going for 100 bob. This cannot happen in stock.
No, it can't. Yeah, because remember, the determining price is yesterday's closing price.
Yes.
So it opens at 100. You not go maximum of 10% of that price. So even if you are the only, and at times we have seen that you are the only
tomato seller.
Yeah.
I cannot sell beyond 11 bob.
No, you can't.
Buana. I want to make money, buana. I'm the only one selling. But I like that.
The market it should be fair to all the investors. Yeah.
There are people who will buy multiple stocks using different companies, but it's one person. So let's say Aliko Dangote, he's a billionaire, right? But he owns several companies. Some of them, manufacture cement, others manufacture, I don't know, textiles. Then there's a pharmaceutical, and then there's whatever. Can all these companies come and buy 5%, 5%, 5%, 5%? Eventually, upate Aliko Dangote as the individual. He owns even perhaps 70% of this company, because each of his very many companies has been buying maximum. So 5. Eventually, he actually owns this company 70%.
Yes, it is possible. It's allowed.
So ikitu ni ujanja tu.
Ni ujanja tu.
Baba.
Yeah.
Nifahamu.
Because you can go buy a certain counter, ufikishe 5%, you open with maybe your company account, another 5%. Yeah, it is possible.
It's not ujanja. Something that
ujanja, bro.
No, it is not.
This is
ujanja is if it isn't known
system.
And it isn't something that is acceptable as being legal. If it is known, it is a question of you having the ability to actualize it. That's it. But it is known. It's not a secret that only 3 people know. It's in the public domain.
Yes.
It's something that anybody can do.
Yeah.
So haina ujanja.
And because sometimes you hear a certain person is the majority shareholder in this company, because again, his very many companies have actually managed to acquire stock in a certain company. So he becomes the controlling majority in a way. Yeah?
You know what you're discussing here is when you talk about really, really very huge corporations, and there are people who want to buy it off. Somebody may not want to sell to an individual. They don't want that person to buy. So this individual would not go directly. That's where now the entities that they have, diverse and all manner of, this person will end up owning what they want without directly coming to you and buying it. And you'll only find this out because, again, the people who represent the shareholding will not be the person, but that person is actually connected to them directly. Again, it is knowledge of that particular enterprise, knowing how it, call it a game.
Yes.
Knowing how it is played.
Okay.
For instance, people who buy stocks, how do you know when to buy and when to sell? That's when you go to these individuals, because they will tell you this is what you look at.
Okay.
I may like a particular share because logo yao iko na fruit, and the idea of a fruit appeals to me, and they may have nothing, they may not deal in fruits. The point is, I want to invest, and I feel that is a sound investment. But somebody who has knowledge will tell me, yes, what interests you and what sort of returns would you like? Then they explain to you how this thing works. So you now know, wherever it is you're putting your money, you know what to anticipate. Okay? It is knowledge. The ujanja that you're referring to is knowledge. People who understand this thing well benefit from it well, because they've taken the time to understand it.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah.
Now, in terms of companies that can buy into this other company, can public companies buy into another public company? For example, now KPC is going to become, this entity that now has got shares. Can another one, like say which one now? Safaricom, can they buy shares in KPC? And can KPC buy shares
in Safaricom? Maybe through Treasury.
Yes.
They can own them through Treasury. Yeah.
Okay. Insider trading is a word I've heard so many times.
Insider trading.
Yes. What is insider trading?
It's when a trader, I have information that is not public, and I want to take advantage of that information. Like now, the way I say the Chinese wall between investment, maybe I've had something, nilikuwa natembea hapo
kwa ofisi
I had, so I come here and I say, let me buy a certain counter. So, and I buy because I have that information
that no one else has.
Yes, and also I can also go telling maybe my friends or whoever, and it's not a public. So that is an insider and trading, and which is a malpractice.
What are the dangers of insider trading? I mean, I can buy this stock and I buy it. Mtu mwingine angeweza kununua, shida iko wapi? Si nimejua tu kitu watu wengine wako wanajua.
No, there are things you will know. There's proprietary knowledge. For instance, an insider would know that this particular company, there's a company X somewhere that is planning to buy shares from this. Because they are known to be of high value, if they buy, the value of these stocks will automatically go up. It's proprietary knowledge. Not everybody knows it.
Yes.
Now
it's not public.
It is not publicly known. Now the person who knows it, and that's when the insider trading comes in, because that person can inform you and tell you, buy these shares.
Yeah. Exactly.
Nunua haraka.
Yes, kwa sababu A, B, C, D inaenda kufanyika.
Lakini Susan, kuna kwanga na siri ya watu wawili kweli?
Iko. Iko. Up until iwe ya watu wengi.
Exactly. As a company, as an entity that has got very many employees, even let's even just look at management level. There are companies that have boards. E-board already, kila mtu akona maybe a spouse, a partner, someone that they tell their secrets to. Is it possible to really weed out insider trading? Because sometimes I feel like it's an effort in futility. Because eventually wewe utaenda uambie maybe even your son or your husband or your daughter, and then your daughter will go tell her husband, and everyone now knows. A few people know, and then they go, they buy stock. Sasa see,
no,
kunanga siri watu wawili bro.
If it is obvious that you benefited
from that
because of knowledge that you shouldn't have had, are there always consequences?
Yes.
Very, 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 very steep consequences.
And that's why, like even capital markets authority, they have a surveillance department. So whenever they see a certain trade that triggers them, they will have to approach a certain broker. Yeah.
And they'll have to investigate.
Yeah, they have to investigate.
Look, for instance, if these big let's look at these big banks. When they want to sell shares, the public doesn't know, but there are always discussions about them, and they know. there are people who have that information. And because that is their business, they will know that this is what is about to happen. And it may be a bank that is popular. Let's say Equity, for instance. Okay? So when that person gives that information, that person is actually telling you how to get rich, because those shares are very likely to rise.
Yes.
And what you buy it at and what it will be in a year's time, you will actually have infinitely more money than you had at the time you bought them.
True.
Now, that is a benefit that you shouldn't have had, because that information was proprietary. It wasn't for the public to know. Yes.
But new janja.
No, you are taking advantage. Look, let me use it in normal day terms. When somebody talks about nepotism, what do you think they're saying? I'm favoring you because you're my relative.
Yes.
Now, you are not supposed to. If it is a meritocracy, the understanding is that whoever applies for this job qualifies. Okay? Now, if you're my relative and I've already told you the questions we're going to ask, see, I've given you an unfair advantage.
Yes, you have.
That is wrong.
It is wrong. The reason I've brought this whole issue of insider trading is because Mopisha's creatives and Maulizi Oswali, does the Nairobi Securities Exchange have insider stock trading? Let's start from there.
No, it doesn't.
All right.
Yeah.
The next one is by Kelvin Gitagia. I hope I'm saying this correctly. But anyway, Kelvin amesema, from a point of ignorance, Vodacom is in the board of Safaricom, so they have insider information. To be honest, see on insider information.
Yeah, they had a stake.
Yeah.
So
they already knew that this thing will be sold, so they can just go directly to the seller and be like, yo, niaje, so you just give me this thing.
What I know is the Capital Market Authority. They are very strict, and they always want everything to be done in the public, so there are no hidden cards. So for me, I would say even if they have a stake there, it must have had like a tendering process going on, a very fair process.
Okay.
Yeah, that took place.
Yeah. So Mopishas is asking, are employees allowed to buy shares? Employees of Kenya Pipeline Company.
Yes, they are. Actually, they have something we are calling ESOP. That is, they have they will hold those shares.
They have set aside shares for the employees to access.
Yes, yeah, which is like a benefit to them.
Yeah.
So they are allowed, and we are really encouraging them to actually take up that advantage. Yeah,
they're given that priority.
Yes.
If a foreign entity, could be a foreign company, it could be an individual who wants to buy shares in KPC, for instance, what do? They
must have a CDS account, so they will have to do the due diligence. We must have the documentation in place. If it's a company, we'll need the certificates of registration, the KRA, and if they don't have the KRA PIN, but their KRA PIN there, I mean their.
So if it's an American company, that means it's IRS,
yes,
the Internal Revenue Service. So they will need an IRS certificate.
Yes.
Okay, which is equivalent of KRA here in Kenya.
Exactly, yeah. And also they will need their identification. Yes.
For example, now for the CDS account, they'll have to hold it here in Kenya? Or?
Yes, they will have to hold it here in Kenya,
right,
as a foreign investor or foreign company. Yeah.
Hey, now I'm getting to understand a couple of things, because even when we say, foreigners will come and buy, so a company like Vodacom, then it has a CDS account here.
Yes, it should have.
Yeah, for them to have a stake in Safaricom.
Yes.
Okay. And whenever they want to move money out of Kenya, that money is taxed.
Yes, so it is taxed.
Yeah. What if it is spent within here? It will just undergo the normal taxation regime of...
Yes, within the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's something I need to understand. The partnership between the Kenyan government and Vodacom, at the time it was being set up, you see, there are certain contractual understanding that people have. For instance, I know of entities where it is understood that in the process or in the fullness of time, should you want to sell shares, the first priority goes to, meaning we agree way ahead of time and we say, a time may come when we will want to sell these shares.
Yeah.
Since we're in partnership with you,
you'd be our first.
Yes, we would be the first people whom you would consider. Did such a case exist in the Safaricom what
To be honest, I wouldn't know.
You see, I'm saying this because there's a discussion we've had on many occasions here regarding Safaricom and the ownership, and then we get down to things like M-Pesa and who owns it and who started it. And we've taken great pride in telling people how it is us. Not really. The person who came up with the idea of M-Pesa was actually a Vodacom employee. Yes, yes, even the development and growing of it. There's a guy called Michael Johnson. No, not Michael Johnson. Is he called Michael Johnson?
Michael Joseph.
Yeah, and Joseph.
The first CEO.
Johnson is the other guy who plays basketball, isn't he?
Right,
Okay.
yes.
Now, this idea was first not even muted here in Kenya, but operationalizing it was here. Everything that made it what it was, the idea was you want a fintech and you want it to be digital. The process of trying to operationalize it, what they call the proof of concept, when you realize, wait, there seems to be a demand for this other service which we had not actually originally thought of. So it was worked at and it became what it is. I do not think anybody in Vodacom saw it would do what it's doing. No, nobody had foreseen this. But this is where it was incubated in this country, and this is where it grew legs and then grew wings. Okay? When you look at that sort of input and you look at the partnership that has grown it, because the shares that we have, gives us a lot of money as a country.
Yes.
Every time you hear of the billions, tunajua zingine ni zetu. Okay? Now, we will get a huge chunk of money for those shares. But what we are going to be getting now as dividend will reduce. Now, I want to ask you a question. There's something called the opportunity cost. When you look at the opportunity cost of getting this money as a lump sum vis-a-vis the dividends that we may get over time, would you say we made a fair trade? I know it is a difficult question, but this is your area of expertise. Do you think we made a fair trade?
Are you asking, because I also want to understand, in terms of the share valuation as it is today? Okay.
You see, we have a growing population. Let me explain my logic. The services that are offered and which make the money that we speak of is because of the usage of those services. A growing population will only use the services more. So the money that Safaricom makes will only increase with time. There isn't really much option. It will increase. So if that is the case, and I project, say, 10 years into the future, 5 years into the future, I look at the lump sum that we're getting to meet a need. I'm arguing and I'm asking, if I put it against what we may gain in terms of dividends with this increase in profit, is it a fair exchange? That is really what I'm asking. Hence the term opportunity cost.
Yeah.
For me, I think it's still a fair opportunity cost. Because, when it's out there, it's making more money. So even the dividend will increase. Because I'm sure the company that is picking it is going to make more money. So even the dividend, I'm sure it is going to be better than what we've been issuing.
And I'm asking the same question now of Kenya Pipeline. Because Kenya Pipeline is one of those few parastatals that actually makes the government money. And it's in the 2-digit billions. It is not at the karibu na bilioni moja. No, ilipita bilioni moja kitambo.
Ilipita bilioni 9
kitambo. So remember, there's what they give the government, there's what they retain. By the time a company is able to buy a refinery, by the time a company is able to set up a unit during COVID where they were making sanitizers, that's a company that is on the up and up and can only do better because it's dealing in a commodity which is required in this entire region. So it can only make more money if it is strategically positioned to do so.
Exactly.
Again, the question of the opportunity cost comes in. We need the money, we are selling. So when we sell, and you look at the possibility of the money that we are likely to make moving into the future, into the next 10 years, again, is it a fair exchange?
Still, it is, for me, still a fair exchange.
Tell me why.
you see, when you are the management, and also when you come to they will be more answerable to the public. So if that comes in, so the management or the people in KPC, they want to do better, and they'll be more answerable. So I'm sure they want to make everything straight. Yeah, and you see, like I'm sure even the compliance side, it will be more straightened. Yeah.
You have mentioned something that I had not thought of. Yes. When something in the public domain is open to scrutiny.
Exactly.
And shareholders have a say. And they will come and they'll ask all those questions that they've been reading about. And you'd better be prepared to answer it. Yes.
Yeah. When people buy into a company, the public buys into a company, then let me put this into context. So, for example, there has been talk of separating M-Pesa from Safaricom, so that now one can be a completely banking entity and then the other one can just be telecommunications. But people bought shares, a couple of years ago. Does that affect the shares that people hold in that company, for example, or do we now hold shares in two companies? How does that work in case of separation? I don't know if KPC can be separated into different entities. Like now, CT was saying, he brought up that aspect of this company at one point during COVID was manufacturing sanitizers. So what if they decide by then, you know what, this is actually a lucrative business. We can get into now petroleum jellies and skincare products and now sanitizers. Then we have KPC, the oil company. If they were to separate in that way, would it mean that if I bought certain shares, I now own shares in KPC, the oil company, and KPC, the skincare product company?
No, it will still be one company.
Yeah.
You're still holding Safaricom shares.
Yes.
Because it's a subsidiary. And this is a diversification of the business.
Yes.
It's like no radio generation.
Yes.
I'm sure you just don't do
radio alone.
I'm sure there are other businesses.
Oh, yes.
So it's the same thing. It will still be under one group. So even for shares will still be under Safaricom.
So in terms of...
so it will not separate that, you bought from M-Pesa, you bought from Telecom.
Yes.
No.
Okay. So that means that So when the government said that they want to separate these two things, what exactly then did they mean? Will they still be under the same CEO? Like now we have Peter Ndegwa. Will they now have a different CEO of M-Pesa? Like how would that work in a scenario? I don't know. I'm just asking because now I'm even more curious.
No, I'm sure Peter Ndegwa will still hold his position, but maybe get somebody who now to run with this other side. But because you see, because of the concentration, want to concentrate on
banking and the other one on telco.
Paul, you have a bank that you go to.
Yes.
It has departments.
Yeah.
They are intertwined, but they are separate. They will find somebody who heads that department, somebody who deals with credit, somebody who deals with risk.
Because even I'm sure in Safaricom there's someone who deals with M-Pesa.
Yes.
But what I wanted to understand is that talk of, because you see, I also don't understand from when they say they want to separate these two companies.
That talk usually, what is not being said is what they want to make M-Pesa into. And maybe they haven't understood what else it could be, because the only option is for it to be a bank.
Exactly. So, because if it ends up being a banking entity of whatever kind, what would it mean now for the mother company?
Now, what did it mean to the banking industry? You see, do our regulations allow for certain things to happen in the way that it may be envisioned? So you may think it, you may want to do it, but what do you need to do in order to get to the point where this thinking now becomes a reality? You see, we didn't have an option in this country that was clearly laid out, where with a salary you could go and borrow money. It's called an unsecured loan. Some legislation had to take place. Something had to change so that it was possible. And so banks are very rigid when it comes to following rules and following laws. So once it was laid down, it became simple. Your guarantor was your employer. Once your employer is your guarantor, then they feel safe. And they know that your money comes into that particular account, you could get a loan. Something that previously wasn't there. But part of the discussion about Safaricom, if you ask me, is you look at the trillions that they turn over, that is a concern. Because these guys turn over more money than banks.
Yes, because even people who do not have bank accounts have a mobile money wallet.
They turn over more money than banks combined. So it's tricky. You know, it's true. These guys turn over money that I have a problem going beyond $1 billion, because billion I can configure. The moment you go beyond $1 billion, my mind gets a bit fuzzy. So now, when somebody is talking about trillions of shillings, even the banks would say, do we really want to? Because the current system, the banks also benefit. Safaricom, banks with banks. Okay? So the whole discussion may take place, but the parties involved in everything that makes Safaricom what it is will also have a say. And their main partners in these issues, it's not even the banks, it's us.
Now, I'm sure at Francis Drummond and Company, you know, you're not just dealing with KPC IPO. Can I come to your offices to, you know, look at other investment opportunities?
Yes, you can. We have our advisory department. When you open a CDS account, which I'm sure you're going to, you already have one, but
So one account can hold several shares.
Yes,
I can have IPO
different
as Safaricom.
Yes,
shares as Safaricom, za KPC, na za wengine.
And also from different brokers. It doesn't mean that you are in this
tied
broker.
To one.
You are tied to one. You can also go to another broker, but the CDS number will still be the same, as long as you have the same ID number. So we do advisory services. We also have the fixed income. So yes, we do equities and we do fixed income.
Sawa. Susan, thank you so much. I don't even think we have begun to scratch the surface as far as shareholding is concerned, but thank you so much for making time to come and have a conversation with us. Perhaps we shall have you at a different time in the future to look at now the progress, because a lot of people have been they've been skeptical about this whole KPC issue, talking about dividends as well. Be skeptical about be wary rather about the outcome and what to expect in the first year of dividends. I don't know what the issue could be there, but tutakuita ukuje utueleze mengine mengi.
So that's okay.
All right. Do stand by, because in the next hour we have Jubilee Party Deputy Party Leader Honorable Jeremiah Kioni coming to talk about the current drama we are witnessing in this country as far as your politics are concerned.
This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. A new learning assessment by the education lobby group Usawa Gender shows improvements in reading skills among lower primary pupils. However, it raises serious concerns over poor numeracy performance. Speaking during the launch of the 2025 Foundational Literacy and Numeracy Assessment Report, stakeholders called for urgent action, warning that the gaps could hurt Kenya's plans to become a STEM-driven economy.
We have a foundational learning guideline which has addressed all these challenges and how we can overcome the challenges. So through the guidelines, we know and we are sure that as a government, these learners will be able to catch up.
The issue of teachers, the Teacher Service Commission are here. They have something to say about that. We want to understand. If a grade 6 child cannot read grade 3 work, what has the Teacher Service Commission got to say about this? Because they're the ones that are tooling teachers, they're the ones that are working the teachers.
President William Ruto has assured that the government will review and act on recommendations in a new report on gender-based violence, including femicide. Speaking at State House, Nairobi, during the launch of the report, the president described the findings as deeply troubling and in need of urgent action. He said gender-based violence affects all people, but women and girls remain the most affected.
Violence against any Kenyan is unacceptable. Violence rooted in gender, power, or inequality is a betrayal of our constitution, our values, and humanity. Protecting life, dignity, and safety is not optional. It is a core duty of a state. That said, However, ending gender violence is not the work of government alone. Parents and families and communities must nurture respect.
Environment Principal Secretary Festus Ngeno says urgent investment in health, nutrition and water services is needed as prolonged heat and dry conditions continue to weaken communities. He warns that vulnerable populations are now relying heavily on the March to May long rains for recovery and food security. This comes as Kenya faces worsening drought after failed 2025 short rains.
I think the critical aspect is how do we build resilience within the ASAL counties. Financing locally led climate action programs, FLOCA programs, and other programs that are being rolled out by governments is supposed to build resilience for communities. The government is well aware that we need to build resilience, and therefore, climate change is a moving target. Now it is drought. In the next few weeks or months, we will have rains coming, and therefore the same counties usually also are affected by floods.
A group of officers in Nigeria are set to face a military court after being accused of plotting to overthrow the government of President Bola Tinubu last year. An armed forces statement has said 16 officers were arrested last October after what were described as acts of indiscipline and breaches of service regulations. At the time, the military dismissed rumors of an attempted coup, but following an investigation, the authorities have acknowledged that some of the 16 will go before a military judicial panel. And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga.
Sports on Radio Generation.
Good morning, I'm Samuel Otieno. Bayern Munich sporting director Marc Sebal says the German club are in talks with Harry Kane about extending the striker's contract. The 32-year-old England captain joined on a 4-year deal from Tottenham in August 2023 in a move worth an initial 100 million euros. Kane has since scored 119 goals and registered 30 assists in 126 games for Bayern and clinched the first major trophy of his career when he helped them win the 2024-2025 Bundesliga title. Nottingham Forest are prepared to pay 35 million euros to sign Jean-Philippe Mateta from Crystal Palace and are willing to offer the striker a significant pay rise. Palace are open to letting Mateta go if the evaluation of around £40 million is met and they can sign a replacement. Juventus and Aston Villa have looked at signing him but have been put off by the asking price. Mateta wants to leave Palace but has not handed in a formal transfer request. And that's your sports update on Radio Generation. Good morning, I'm Samuel Otieno.
Sports on Radio Generation. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the guests and do not necessarily reflect the views of Radio Generation. Radio Generation assumes no responsibility or liability for the interviewee's views. This is Radio Generation. In the beginning, there was morning radio. But now there is Radio Generation's The People's Breakfast, curious and bold, getting facts from the shadows.
That's what it is.
Now, as the city wakes and secrets stir, a bright new voice shines. The People's Breakfast, your morning, your voice, your journey. Good morning.
Good morning, my neighbor.
Welcome to the home of hard truths and bold insights, Radio Generation.
Yes, indeed. This is your chance to become a millionaire. And the only way you can do that, by the way, is buying yourself some shares. This is Radio Generation. My name is Mungala Buvin. The time right now is 7 minutes past 8 o'clock. The People's Breakfast, indeed, it is where you are. And in Nairobi, we're on 88.8 FM. Mombasa ni 90.7 FM. Alafu ukielekea kule sehemu za Garissa, utatupata katika 89.5. City. Nimesema watu wakitaka kuwa millionaires wanunue shares ukacheka.
I was actually laughing because of the profundity of what you've just said.
Yes.
Actually, it is true. People have actually become millionaires by just doing that. Buying shares diligently. The guy called Warren Buffett.
Yeah.
Whose story is an interesting one. How he became a multi-dollar billionaire.
Yes.
Yeah, I think he must be a trillionaire. Just knowing what to buy, what shares to buy, buying low when the value is not high, and giving it time rising and the patience it requires. See, an offering like this is an offering. In 10 years' time, those shares are not going to be worth what they're worth.
Yeah.
They're going to be worth more.
You know, this is one time I found myself at this 7-star hotel.
Seven?
Yeah.
Iko?
Ziko hapa tu Kenya, ndakwambia tu sasa.
Kuna 5.
Kuna 7-star, bro.
Iko?
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm waiting to be informed.
Yeah. So nilikuwa nimeenda, I was hosting an event there. I was the master of ceremonies. And when I was there, I noticed these folks that were seated at the restaurant, you know, in a cafe within the restaurant, within the hotel, sorry. They were, you know, taking their coffee, their tea, or whatever breakfast item they were consuming. And they were holding, you know, they were checking out the market section of the newspapers. Sa zile Wakenya wengine wanakimbia kusoma gossip online, kuangalia leo Ambare amesema nini, amefanya nini, Vera Sidika akona nani, sijui Mulama amenunua gari gani. Kuna jamaa alikuanga pale kwa the stock market section akaangalia how shares are performing. Others were on their tablets. We're talking about iPads and their phones, just checking out the stock markets. And I was wondering, this is such a boring read. Looking at those, the graphs going up and down, looking at the charts, checking out which share has been sold where, the bonds that are performing where, in which state, which country. I was like, this is such a boring read. But bro, I realized something. They are the folks that are staying in these hotels. Well, I will be done here and go somewhere and, you know, pay someone rent. And it got me, it got me thinking, yeah, these guys are living in 7-star hotels in the city of Nairobi, enjoying exquisite meals, you know. Probably by the end of today, they will jet out of the country and probably have dinner in New York, you know, or someplace in Amsterdam or Paris, probably buy a diamond ring for their wives or girlfriends or whatever. Whereas the rest of us, we wallow in the miasma of checking out gossip columns on newspapers.
Choice, bro, choice.
Na nikasema hizi ni vitu zingine yenyewe. Personally, hata leo nikiangalia magazeti zenye zinakuanga na hizo vitu za stock. Of course, I'll understand a few things because of the nature of the work that I do. But beyond that, I wouldn't find it interesting. But when you wake up every single morning and you just want to know, because you bought stock in London, in a company, maybe, I don't know which company, but whatever company you bought stock in, maybe it could be Uber, or you bought stock in Airbnb, or you bought stock in Facebook, you definitely want to know how it's performing. You know?
Would.
Yeah, you want to know. Ni kama kuwa mkulima akiamka akiangalia shamba yake aone ng'ombe zake ziko sawa, anakuja naambiwa na shamba boy, mkubwa pale kuna ng'ombe kidogo ni gonjwa, itabidi tumeinunulia dawa tumepeleka kwa veterinary. Kuna nyingine pale mjamzito huyu in the next 2 months atajifungua, so we need to make preparations for that. It's the same thing. These guys, their shamba is actually that newspaper they're checking, the stock that they have bought. And that made me...
That's a very good observation because...
Yeah.
You see, you asked the question, what is it that is of interest in this section? And you got the answer.
Yeah.
To them, that's what tickles their fancy. That's what makes them feel good because their interest is on that. Just like there are people I know who buy a newspaper, they go to the back immediately. They won't read sports.
Yeah. They just want to know Messi.
They want to know. They want to know what happened in sports. After that, then they're okay.
Yeah.
And what happened in the last year? What happened?
You know, before this internet thing, you're right. Before this internet thing became what it is today, in high school, my friends during tea time, they would rush to the library because that's where the newspapers were. They would rush to the library, open the back section, because that's the only way we could get information. So last night there was a match. For example, Liverpool played Manchester United. So they will want to go and see what happened, who scored at what time, was anyone, you know, red carded, yellow carded, did anyone fight the referee or whatever. And that's how, and you would find students flocking atop each other just to and then there was someone who, because there were very few papers, there was someone who was reading out loudly. You know, they'll be like, so, and you'll be like, what? So it's the same thing. kuna watu saizi wanaamka city wanaangalia tu magazeti huko nyuma, wengine wanaenda kwa the business segment, wengine wananunua tu specifically magazeti ya business because that's all that matters to them.
It's very, very true.
Yeah.
One of the things that is true about the discussion we're having in the previous hour is just how much knowledge needs to be in the public domain for people to understand these things, because they read about it, they hear about it, and they don't know. And if you do not know, the voices that are loudest and those who are committed naysayers, they are the voices that will present the believability factor in a discussion of that nature. But of significance also is when you find all the things that people have said and the doubts that have been cast and have been stated, what it then tells you also is something very simple. It tells you that there is a very strong mistrust quotient that the citizenry have with the government. So even something which in and of itself may appear to be straightforward, the public is not going to take it at face value.
Yeah.
Nope.
And specifically with this current government.
Yes, the mistrust quotient with this government. And then there are people who hype it. There's a mistrust that exists.
Yeah.
When people feel that certain promises have not been fulfilled, then there are those who seem to make it their duty of hyping it so that at every turn there's something that, as far as they're concerned, the government isn't doing. In fact, as far as they're concerned, this government has collapsed.
I was listening to the news during the day, and I had something from this government, another promise. And let me not lie to you, I was like, this thing is going to bite them in a few months' time. I was like, this one for a fact, without yani hii kitu itakuja kuwauma, because from where I sit, when it was mentioned, I was like, this is unachievable in the period of time the government has given. But I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm part of the people that, you know, are overthinking this whole promise issue. Let's wait and see. But I knew for a fact this one is going to bite them.
What exactly was promised?
I can't remember, but because I was listening in person. Unasikizanga when you're on the phone.
When you're doing something else.
Yeah. So I heard it and I was like,
hey.
I was like, imagine hii kitu, and even the person I was with, tulikuwa tumeketi naye, nikamwambia imagine hiyo kitu, na akaniambia pia umeisikia, nikasema nimesikia, na nikasema hiyo inakuja kuwauma in a few months time, because the promise and the time period it was given, it was not going to be achievable. But I said, you know what, it's not the first time it's happening, but liwe liwalo. So you're right, there's a lot of mistrust. Generally, people mistrust governments. Generally, it's not a Kenyan thing, it's not an African thing, it happens world over. But I feel like in our country, in this day and age, specifically the time that we're in and the government that is currently in place, it has been magnified.
We have trust issues with the government. So even when, and part of it has to do with why and how they communicate what it is they want to do. This government needs money, there's no question about it. Dealing with debt repayments and then just balancing recurrent expenditure, balancing what then you need to do. That one, by the time we pay off some of these debts on a yearly basis, what we have remaining is too small an amount around the country.
Yeah.
They don't actually have much of a choice but to borrow.
Do you think their problem, apart from now these financial woes that they're facing, that part of the biggest problem is over-promising and under-delivering?
Oh, that, my friend, plays a very big part of it, because many people attach the promises to the election period. And many people insist that part of why President Ruto won the election is because people believed in their promises.
And it is because people were hungry for that picture that he painted for them. Unajua mtu wa mama mboga ama mtu wa bodaboda akiambiwa when I take power you will own matatu. Jamaa of course atakwanga zile za walai ndio anapigia kura. Walai huyu amenipromise matatu.
That is actually the natural way, and you see where expectations are great, so are disappointments.
Yes.
When it is deemed that the promises have not been fulfilled. Hiyo ndio shida.
Yep.
You promise expectation up. People feel they're not being fulfilled, expectations dip.
Yeah. Then disappointment kicks in.
And disappointment now when it kicks in, then mistrust now begins to grow, and it keeps growing, because then the lenses through which people look at what the government is saying is what they've experienced. So if in between certain things are actually done by the government, they will not see it.
Yeah. People were promised, but the border riders were told, they'll own fleets of matatus. Mama Mbogas were told they'll own supermarkets. Do you know when someone pictures that if I vote for this guy and I will now own a supermarket, mimi ndio nitakuwa kusema hapa sasa. You know, that's a significant shift.
And it is actually something that can be realized.
Yes.
It's just, if you do not give it a time span and you do not talk about the process that you need to follow to get there, it becomes what you call magical thinking. Somebody then allows the magical thinking to shift gears.
Yeah.
And they now see. It's been mentioned, they're seeing it. Things don't happen that way, not really. There's a lot that needs to happen.
Yeah.
There are very many things that need to be sewn together, packaged, headed in a certain direction for those things to begin, not to happen, to begin to happen. See?
President Uhuru said that time when he said that, hey guys, bwana, we lose 2 billion shillings daily, mnataka nifanye nini? Me, I understood it in two different ways. Number one, I saw it as a failure of government, and I saw it as a failure of leadership. Because sasa wewe kama uwezi, sasa mimi kama Paul Mongala Mbuvi, mimi mwenye hata sina control ya the power of this country, sasa mimi nitafanya nini? But number two, I also realized, you know, it's like dating a girl or dating a boy. So you're dating this person, and the initial public offer, if I may call it that, they're a very good person. They look absolutely well kept. You know, they look put together. Then when you a few months into dating, or perhaps even years into marriage, you realize apana venye City alikuwa amejipresent by there, apana. This guy was calm and composed. Now he's clobbering me every other day, you know. And I feel like President Uhuru got to that point. He realized, by the way, this thing, the way I thought I was going to handle it. When I was growing up also, I thought my parents, whenever I told them I want chips and they don't buy it for me, I thought ni uchoyo. How do you tell me hauna pesa ya kunibaya chips na unaendanga kazini kila siku kutengeneza pesa?
Sound logic for a child.
Sasa si unaendanga kazini daily.
Na huko ndio pesa inapatikana.
Yes, you know, and you'd even think you didn't buy me chips, but yesterday I saw you bought yourself soda. So mbona hukujinyima hiyo soda uninunulie chips? That was my logic growing up, until I grew up and I realized, by the way, you know, there are times you can actually be broke, you can't buy your child chips. And now I actually understand sometimes fluid dynamics of running government are more or less the way we run our own lives.
You're actually quite right. There isn't, the difference is a scale, but the thinking of resources that you have, which in and of themselves are limited.
Yes.
And how it is you need to figure out how to prioritize these resources. That usually is the trick.
Yeah.
How do you prioritize them? What do you do? What do you give precedence? What do you do so that it can ignite other things that can then take care of other? I mean, it's a whole thought process, and that is the reason why you have individuals who study this particular matter. The discipline is called economics.
Yes.
And believe me, it's in every field. You can study financial economics, you can study health economics, still economics. You are specializing in understanding how to divvy scarce resources so that it meets the needs, okay? The broader needs of a community. It is the same thing. This is the parent, these are the parents, this is the family, these are the resources. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
What goes before what? We are not buying this person's shoes. Give them your shoes because you've outgrown them.
Yes. Okay, that is a very good picture.
I attended a funeral of a classmate of mine, and the testimony was being given by some of his relatives.
Yeah.
Okay? And they're talking about some of the older pictures on the first time, the day that guy went to school. Those of us who were born in 1958, it's a long time ago. So going to school 4 years down the round, around 1962, before independence.
Yes.
And if you're living in a place where there's no butter shop, and butter shops were only in very major places.
Inile butter ya viatu sasa.
Yes. And they want you to go to school to choose.
Yeah.
There was a story being told about this gentleman went to school on day one with his mother's shoes.
Are you for real?
Yeah, I'm telling you what was being said.
I live up palms.
Whatever it was, but the shoes were his mother's. You see, your mind automatically goes to high heels. They're not high heels.
Okay.
They're pumps.
Okay.
Whatever they were.
Yeah.
But I remember that story and I was laughing and I was saying, growing up, nothing was ever thrown away. We were many. So clothes were passed down. There are kids who unfortunately had an older sister.
Yes.
Walai. Yes.
Walai.
And there are pictures. We say, oh, you are 2 girls. No, this is a boy.
Can't imagine finding Siti Muga wearing a rinda. Siti wearing a dress on the bro.
You're thinking of me with a beard.
That time you were young.
No
smooth
beard.
Skin.
Not only that, and everybody's hair was cut uniform, boys and girls. Yani imetolewa imebaki kidogo sana. So you all look the same. And then every day before you go to school, mnapakiwa mafuta ya Vaseline. Your faces would shine to death.
You know that Ugandan journalist who keeps on asking people, why are you gay?
Yes.
That is the time I would ask you that question. But you know, what you've mentioned is something I've also had my parents mention. My dad, for example, has told me stories of how the clothes were shared like that. So because he is the firstborn, venye alikuwa na outgrow nguo zake anaachia brother zake wadogo.
Hand me down. Just handed down.
Yeah. Yes. So as he grew bigger, zenye alikuwa anatumia sasa anapatia nani? Brother yake mdogo. And because they more or less went to the same school, there's no need of buying new uniform.
Same with books. You didn't need to buy new books.
Yeah.
The books are used. My younger siblings would then use. So children did not go to school with shoes. You went barefooted.
Wait, teachers did what?
There are teachers who did not have shoes.
Why? Did they not earn a salary?
Oh, I don't know how much they earned then. But most of those teachers, if I remember, they wore shorts like us. I do not remember a teacher who used to wear long. Maybe they wore them on Sundays.
Hey, bwana, because
everybody who went to school went looking at the time you went to school, and I'm trying to tell you, nobody suffered. Everybody was barefooted. So the issue of suffering didn't arise.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was normal. This was normal.
Everybody walked to school. There was nothing. And that particular school, there was a morning session and an afternoon session.
Okay.
If I went for the afternoon session, to get there on time, I would leave early and I'd carry packed lunch. Maize and beans.
Yeah.
What we call nyoyo.
Yeah.
That's packed lunch.
Githeri, basically.
Yes. That's what you'd carry.
And you eat it on the road as you walk?
Of course we did it on the road as we walked. As a child, by the time you get to school, you've actually finished most of the food. Okay?
And you're hungry again?
No, you're not really. You'll get hungry towards the end of the lesson. And then you walk back. I'm trying to explain to you that these things are relative.
Yeah.
You happen to have gone to school at a time when wearing shoes was normal.
Okay.
I'm trying to explain to you that wearing shoes was not normal for a child going to school in primary school then.
Okay.
No, it was not normal. You didn't wear shoes.
On behalf of the people of Kenya, for the suffering city you underwent, we are sorry.
I did.
Nacheza City.
You know, people talk about trauma. I was not traumatized. No. It was fun. Do you know how nice it is to walk barefooted? And then to get used to walking barefooted.
Nikiona ile distance babangu alikuwa akienda shule, basi si mbali sana. From mali anaishi,
the distance when you see it as an adult is not far. As a child, it is far.
Yeah.
You are small, you have small legs, you have small feet. You need many, many, many more steps to get to that same place.
What made the distance longer is because there was no road that you can walk and say, I'll take Kenyatta Avenue, then go down Moi Avenue, then I'll reach to my destination. You see, if it's that clear cut, then you would say, Simbali. Because right now I can walk from railways, for example, railways bus stop all the way to Ngara and not feel like that distance is, But if I have to go from railways, follow Haile Selassie, go down Uru Highway, then go up Upper Hill, so that now I can take, not Upper Hill, but go up all the way to Valley Road, then take a corner, Naukos G, DOD, go through State House for me to get to Ngara, then that's a very long distance. And that is what our parents endured.
I want you to understand that you measure distance in terms of the comfort you have endured in traveling and the speed with which that comfort affords you. When the speed that is available is a bicycle.
Yes.
Okay? A bus, which is essentially a converted lorry for long distance, but you walk in order to board it and it's always full. The issue of distance and how you understand it is completely different from how you understand at that point in time. And it isn't far. Because people would visit relatives who are 50 kilometers away, they would ride their bicycles. Okay? Because they want vehicle that went everywhere you wanted to go.
Yeah.
And even if there was a vehicle, they would board your bicycle on top of it because they all had carriers.
Yes.
And when you disembarked, then you get on your bike and go wherever you're going. I'm simply trying to say it was a different time.
Yeah. And the wild animals?
What wild animals?
Hamkuwa mnapatana na wanyama huko wenye wanataka kuwameza?
No.
Chui, fisi?
No. Those things...
Lions?
They tend to appear at night. In the time when I was growing up, wildlife had plenty to feed on. They didn't need human beings.
Okay.
We hadn't started encroaching on the sanctuary of wildlife as we have now. We were not interfering with the ecosystem as we are now. No. They went their way. The rivers that were near the homes that we came from had snakes, and you did not find it strange to see a python slithering somewhere along the way.
Yeah.
It was not unusual at all. You took off like a bat out of hell, but it was not unusual. It wasn't unusual when you're sleeping at night, as you walk in with a koroboi, okay, to find a snake slithering on your wall. It was not unusual.
Yeah.
I see you're getting disturbed.
No.
I'm simply talking about the wildlife.
Actually, I think I told you about the snake story and my dad and his experience. But yes, continue.
I'm simply trying to say this. Our discussion began by looking at the believability factor of this government. And we're looking at how you get to a point where people mistrust what you say. Disappointment is a factor of expectation. When you raise expectations and then there are disappointments, that is a breeding ground now for mistrust.
Yeah.
People then don't believe what you have to say because you have told them something which they can clearly see is not happening.
Where?
Essentially, they doubt you.
Yeah. The times we live in.
The times we live in.
Yeah. Okay. Someone has said something very interesting here, and I think we'll need to pursue this line of thought now. This is my version 2.0. No, my take, sorry. Amesema, I saw a very funny photo trending of Orengo in Kawangware. Amechapwa na jua, ameparara deadly. And I realized, enye kazi opposition tiyo raisi. No wonder people like Kalonzo rarely go out there.
Okay.
No, but on a serious note though, I haven't seen Kalonzo in a while. I wonder where he's...
True. I also haven't seen Kalonzo in a while.
I wonder where he could be. Because he's not really active. He's not been active. I hope he's okay in terms of his health and so on and so forth. Amenyamaza sana, ametulia, for lack of a better word. But Her Excellency Aida Odinga pointed to UNEP. Someone was asking, does this mean that now Winnie Odinga is going to go slow on these attacks that he has been having on her uncle? Baba Mkubwa.
I don't understand the attacks. Has she attacked her uncle? Has she attacked him?
No, this whole issue of being a rebel within ODM.
Is she a rebel?
Yeah.
How?
Because she's not aligning with what the party leadership is doing.
And what is the party? I mean, I don't understand.
Unaelewa kenye namaanisha bana.
No, sielewi. You know,
unaelewa.
Sikuambia kwa nini sielewi.
Okay, niambie.
You see, how do you distinguish between somebody having an alternate view and something being a rebel? How do you distinguish between somebody taking a position that they feel is right and somebody simply not being part or going against the dictates of the so-called leadership? How do you determine this?
Okay.
Are we saying that in a political party, people aren't supposed to air the views that they have on a particular subject and that they're not supposed to have a view that differs from certain individuals? What is the party position that she has gone against? Because it's the party position, and it is stated as such, and then she goes against it, and I would say, oh,
the party position is working with ODM perhaps even past 2027.
No, it's called UDA. The ones who are in ODM. So ODM working with UDA.
Yes, what did I say?
Working with ODM. And they're already ODM.
Oh yeah, sorry. So working with UDA beyond 2027.
But has it been firm? It's a discussion, isn't it?
But wamesema they want it and they will take nothing less than the DP's position.
Yeah, but you know, many buts here.
Yes.
That's what was in the public domain. I am not even sure I understand what they're talking about. And I'm going to explain to you what I mean.
Okay.
UDA already exists as a party. They have their own plans. They would like to have an arrangement formalized with you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes, they do.
And so somebody is stating the demands that they want. Demands are stated so that people can sit and negotiate. That's the whole point. It's not that you're going to get it. So you raise the stakes and claim something that is considered to be of great significance, and then you get to start talking about it and you arrive at an understanding.
Right.
ODM is not the only party that will be seeking to work with
President Ruto.
No.
Yeah.
The other day, UDA mentioned something of interest. They opened up a portal, and on this portal, they asked people who had a wish to vie for certain positions within the party.
Mbali walikuwa naitisha 2,000, 5,000 na 10,000.
Eti hiyo. They said watu ambao wanajisikia kwamba wanaweza, then it is good that they should do the needful.
Right.
Okay? Now, problem iko hapa. That portal expires, is it? At the end of this week, if I'm not wrong.
Oh, you actually visited it?
No, so I read.
Okay. All right.
It is in the public domain. Okay? So, once somebody indicates the numbers that they currently have, let me just read it out for you so that you understand, those who have already registered.
Registered, yes.
The first thing in the portal that they ask you is, are you a member of UDA? If you're not, then you register. Okay? Now, the first position that I'm going to read is that of governors. There are 64 people who have already
registered to vie.
Yes.
64?
Yes.
We have only 47 counties.
So what? You can have 3 people wanting to vie in one county.
So let's say in Nairobi we are 7 of us. So what happens?
So you will compete.
Primaries?
Yes, you will compete. There are all these processes.
And if I do not succeed, will they give me back my 10,000 shillings?
Even if you wake up very early in the morning, you won't get that money.
So my 10,000 for gubernatorial
is non-refundable, and hiyo ni pesa mzuri na ni kidogo. Okay?
10,000 ni pesa kidogo. Siti nipe 10,000.
When do you want it?
Endelea kwanza ndakwambia.
Okay. Senators 98.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Woman rep 138. MPs 640.
These guys are making money.
That's what you're looking at.
Yeah, this guy, I see Wongo.
MCAs 2,863.
So 2,000 MCAs, right?
And yes, and we have 1,450 wards, just so that you know.
Yeah, so 2,000 of them, registration fee was 2,000. Already only 4 million.
Oh, that's where your head has gone to.
Ai, siti mimi, wacha nikwambie, tunafanya hesabu sasa hivi. Aya, ulisema not MCAs, umesema the governors ni wangapi?
Governors are 64.
64. Each one forking out 10,000. Ayo ni pesa kidogo. So 640,000 just from the governor aspirants alone.
Senators 98.
98 pia walikuwa natoa. I think them they were told to do 5,000, same to MPs. So 5,000 times 98 umesema, eh? So hiyo ni roughly 49,000.
No, it can't be 49.
490,000.
Okay. Then women rep 138.
138 women rep pia walikuwa natoa 5,000 kama MPs. Umesema ni ngapi? Umesema
138.
138. So that is 640,000. No. 690,000.
No, it's more than that.
No, CT. Umesema there are 138.
There are 138 and they're paying 5,000. Do the math, chief.
MCAs ilikuwa 2,000 alafu ilikuwa nini? So that is, if we just take 138 times 5,000. Yeah, see ni 690. Nimekwambia ni 690,000.
But that's what I was telling you.
Okay, sawa. So 690K for this individual.
MPs 640.
640. So that means 320,000. 640, yeah? So that's 6 point something million. 6.6. Umesema how many?
640, and they're paying, how much are they paying? 5,000.
640 times 5,000. Yeah, 3.2 million.
The point I'm trying to make here is this. When you find...
Besha hiyo ni nyingi mani. Hiyo pesa ni ya UDA. nafungua chama.
I'm actually trying to tell you.
Fungua chama leo.
Go ahead. I'm trying to tell you that the numbers, and it hasn't closed yet, the numbers tell you something very simple. That there are very many people who want to buy on a UDA ticket.
Right.
Yes. So if you were the person who was collecting that data, you would then know that from among the citizenry of Kenya, you have a sufficient number of people who actually want to buy. Now, the details, the God, as it says in the details, which part of the country do all these people who want to buy come from? And I'm sure you will know if you look at it. Again, what does that tell you? It tells you that even when somebody wants to now go into a union of some sort with another party, they are armed with the data.
Yes.
And that data will inform them whether they actually need these people or not. And if they need them, what they need them for.
Okay.
There'll be a filler. They will not be the mainstay. There's a place which they will be, should we say, filling in for.
Yes.
So, the politics of this country, you were talking about Winnie Odinga.
Yes, I was talking about.
And an ODM.
Right.
When politicians speak, please bear in mind they are speaking. You can infer, you can analyze, but don't read too much into it. Because this situation with politicians is fluid. Today, what pertains is not what's going to pertain tomorrow and the day after. So you need to just bear that in mind even as you move along.
Right.
Yes.
All right. Let's wait and see. I was thinking if I were UDA, I'd probably approach this differently. But your person you guys might get some good money right there.
How much does it cost to
run elections?
No. To apply for an American visa.
I think someone mentioned it's currently in the 29,000s, probably heading to 30s. I don't know. I'm not sure. Why?
Well, you're talking about costs that people incur when they want something they consider important. Okay?
Yeah.
Anything that is of value will always cost you.
Yes.
Yes.
So they're saying it's $185. So that's roughly 24,000 to 26,000 with the current exchange rate.
Yes, it isn't different from some of the European countries as well. Some charge maybe $200. That is, you want a visa. It's not refundable. Once you pay it, even if you don't get the visa, you're not going to get that money back.
Yeah, they call it visa processing fee.
Yes, it is a visa processing fee. Now, this...
Application processing fee.
Right. This one here, when you pay for it, you've paid to demonstrate and to document intent.
Yeah, but to be honest, I understand that people need to be paid because they're not going to work in the party for free. There are those people who will sort out those documents. They will, sift through and make sure that you have received your due, your what is it called? The process has basically gone smoothly, and those folks will need to be employed. So parties also do employ people. Will need to be paid. Sorry.
All parties have a secretariat, and that secretariat has people who work in it, and those people also happen to be paid. When you look at the fluidity of our politics, and more so right now, the thing that you notice is this. The politics that was introduced by President William Ruto, okay? If there's anything that's coming to bite him, it's that politics. You bring up issues, people then take you up on issues.
Yeah.
The promises were a representation of the issues, okay? So every time people speak, they want to hold you to account.
Yeah.
It's, again, the issue-based discussions. Now, what that means also, it puts other politicians at crosshairs. When you listen to other politicians, there's a question I ask. What issues are you actually talking about? Because the issue has been, for many politicians, is how utterly useless this government is. And they have to be reminded we also live here. Okay? This country. We live in this country, like them. And if there are problems in the country, we also see them.
Yes.
If there are papers, we also read the papers. And chances are, they have an easier time of living here than the rest of us do. So, do we really need to be told what somebody else is doing rather than you telling us? Because when you talk about somebody else, you know what you're doing?
Yeah.
Unampigia debe. even if you're saying something that they haven't done and you're highlighting it, you are talking about them. We hear about them more than we hear about you, because it is you who's talking about them. You only need to look at the frequency with which people who were detractors of the late Raila Odinga. It was very difficult to pick up a paper without Raila's name appearing somewhere. And you talk about all 3 papers in the country. Now, these people had an axe to grind with him, clearly, but in the process of grinding that axe, they were adding to this man's popularity and visibility. And it's like it just didn't occur to them. They were giving him a lot of flight mileage simply by constantly mentioning him. You see, I mention your name, whether I mention positively or negatively.
Right.
I'm mentioning it. But significantly and strangely so is this. If someone mentions your name negatively, people are more likely to want to read what it is you're saying that is negative rather than what is positive. So, again, the fluidity is something you must understand. Now, the thing we do not seem to have gotten fully is why it is somebody comes up and tells us that we must focus on what the executive is doing, forgetting that there's an arm of government whose job is actually to do this. And you know what? We actually elected them to do it. But significantly, we seem to think we have no role in this whole process, apart from complaining.
Yeah.
How do I give somebody a job and then just let them do what they want? How?
You have got to follow up.
I've got to follow up, man. I gave you this job. Why aren't you doing what you're doing? In fact, my problem is with my MCA and my MP. My MCA is because of where I live, where I come from, home, where I'm domiciled.
Yeah.
My MP is my constituency. Again, the larger geographical area where I'm domiciled. If that person doesn't do what they're supposed to do for me, then I will definitely not get the benefits that are accrued to me. But if I ensure that they know that I am going to ask them to give an account of that which was entrusted to them, they'll behave differently.
The problem is how we ask of that account that you're talking about. It's either we do not know how to do it or we do not understand what an account is.
Why do you say we do not know? If you know how to give somebody a job, you're telling me you do not know what it is that you require of them to do for you.
I'm talking about,
you don't know how to ask why they haven't done what you're supposed to do.
For example, let's go to Ushago kidogo and look at the people that we elect in Ushago and look at how they carry themselves. First of all, the way they seclude themselves. It's like they become alienated to the people that actually elected them, and they become unapproachable because much of the time they're either in Nairobi, and the only time they go to Ushago, they travel in the wee hours of the night and probably leave in the wee hours of the morning, right? And some of the times that you'll see them is when they are cutting a ribbon at some school, or when they are addressing a church function, or they're attending a funeral. So at what point did we, and that's why I like what Free Kenya movement came up with, whereby it is known that every first Sunday or first Monday or this particular time, we shall be meeting you and we shall have questions for you as the person that we elected, whether it's the MCA, MP, senator, governor, woman rep, or any other elected official within a county. So other than that, the current setup we have, if today CT, my MP, comes to me, I might be in a better position to ask certain questions because of the nature of the work that I do. But if someone else is not in the position that I hold, mtu wa Ushago mwenye maybe anataka tu kujua boss ni aje, sina kazi. Hiyo ndio swali yake ya kwanza. Perhaps they won't ask about their roads, they won't ask about their water situation, they won't ask about any other problem that might be ailing them as a county or as a constituency. Yeye anataka kuja tu, mheshimiwa bana, sijakula kutoka jana, nijenge. But hiyo so mbili ama so tatu ama nijenge hiyo 1,000. And the moment they're given that 200 bob, once they have satisfied the need they had that particular day, the questions disappear. And the reason I'm saying that perhaps it's either we do not know how to ask this accountability, or we do not understand what accountability is all about. Because if we did, right now, since independence, it's been 62 or so years, we would be having roads in every single county, the kind of roads that we think we should be having. We should be having these hospitals we keep on singing about. Our schools would have been constructed and well equipped. We should be having teachers in the way that we have been thinking we should have them. We should be having doctors in every hospital, not just hearing that since independence for the first time, now Wajir has got this. Since independence for the first time, Mandela has got this. So it's either we do not know how to ask for accountability, or we do not understand what exactly it is that we need to be asking of.
How do we relate to leadership? What is a normal Kenyan African's relationship with somebody in a position of leadership? It starts in the home. How do we relate to our parents? How do we relate to our fathers? How do we relate to senior male figures within the family? How do we relate to them?
We are submissive to the leaders within our family setups, yes.
We are. Do we question them?
Rarely.
Do we express alternative views to theirs?
Rarely.
Precisely. So now when somebody is elected, and we wouldn't call him Muheshimiwa.
We've already elevated this person.
We have. So what is the likelihood that we are going to tell him, excuse me, you, utawacha hii, It's very unlikely, is it?
Very.
Yeah, but then again, so if we cannot come up with a way of respectfully having conversations where the representation involves us as regularly as possible, then we have a problem, and this problem that we have will give birth to other problems which will never come to an end. We'll always be underrepresented. We'll always be complaining. And yet we'll still keep electing people. And every once in a while, somebody will come along who at least seems to understand that they're representing people. And so you're wishing upon a star, really. It's not as though anything concrete. But this doesn't have to be the case. We didn't have county governments until just slightly over 10 years ago.
Yes.
We didn't have MCAs. They were called councillors. We didn't have senators. We didn't have women rep. We didn't have governors. Something strange. We didn't have an entity called a county government that mirrored the national government, who actually had money to spend locally.
Yes.
We've never had it. Now we have it. And when you do the maths, hiyo pesa ni mingi, if I may say so in Kiswahili. If you had to do the maths and you look at the tens and hundreds of billions that county governments have received since inception, Chief, it is a lot of money, and I have a problem with that money because I am not convinced that I can look at or go to any county in this country and that the amount of money that they've received up to now will be demonstrated in what I see in the country, in that county. I'm not convinced it is possible, because there's something that happened in the old system. Any place that had a municipality, and that was the whole country, the municipality always had what you call rates. They had business permits.
Are you talking about land rates?
I'm talking about land rates.
Okay.
I'm talking about revenue collection mechanisms that were available before. And the thing that I found staggering, and surprisingly so, is you have a situation where it's not a municipality anymore, it's a county. Now within that county, the economic activities are not centered around the town or the center. It's centered around the entire county. And yet in very many instances, the revenue that is collected within the entire county is less than what was being collected by the town. So you want to ask, the markets that were there before still exist. On market days, the municipality used to make money.
Yes.
County government also makes money. So what then happened? Why am I talking about this? Because if you're talking about revenue, you can't talk about the equitable share only. You have to talk about own source revenue as well. And that discussion is a thoroughly winding one. Those who've done research on it, from the days when it was a municipality, what was shocking was that it was always determined that what the county municipality got into their coffers as well as the county is just 30% of what was collected. 30%. So you have to ask, where did the other 70%? But that's a discussion for another day.
Yes, indeed it is. We want to shift gears for a minute before we get into a break and then reignite the conversation. In studio, we do have with us Deputy Party Leader, Jubilee Party, Honorable Jeremiah Kioni. Mheshimiwa, a very good morning to you and welcome to Radio Generation. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I thought you'd forget.
The Happy New Year part.
Happy New Year.
We are saying this till March.
Oh, that's how it goes. I keep saying Happy New Year until I have seen all the people in the year.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. My apologies for stepping in a little after the hour.
Always a pleasure to host you.
Naona mnaendelea mzuri.
Kabisa.
You are shaping the generations.
We have to.
Which is a great thing.
Right.
Mumepanda.
Pia nyinyi naona ni kama
mutupe hii ninio. Formula.
Acha nikwambie. Hii formula ni simple sana. Ni Mungu.
Ni Mungu.
Ni God.
It's called favor.
Favor. God's favor.
Right.
Hata sisi tuko vile katika Jubilee.
Yes.
Hata sisi tunapanda.
Yes.
Uliniacha nikiwa SG, nilikuwa hapa mwisho nikiwa SG. Sasa mimi ni deputy party leader.
Imagine that.
I'm actually a deputy to Uhuru,
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. Nashukuru.
Congrats, yeah.
So tuna kazi ya kufanya.
Right. Why the change? Why did you I thought you were doing such an amazing job as the SecGen of Jubilee Party.
Na ukimaliza kazi.
Kazi imeisha sasa ya SecGen.
Ukimaliza kazi ya hiyo ofisi.
Na sasa mwenye mupatia sasa atafanya nini?
Kwa sababu ataendelea. You know now the work that is there is convening meetings, hapa na pale. But the exercise that I needed to do was to get back the party back on its feet. Keep it alive for 3 years alone. Mimi peke yangu na titi hapa, hata wewe ulikuwa unanisaidia sana kwa runinga.
Yes.
Make sure that we are out of the court corridors.
Right.
And even get to a point where I have a presidential candidate. We now have a presidential candidate.
Yes.
Whom I think you're also looking at favorably kulingana vile naona umeniangalia. These are things, once you have achieved, it's important to move to the next. And the next thing is to sell the party to the people now. Go out to the people. Sell the candidate, sell our alternative agenda, and ensure that we are looked at as the viable alternative, working with others within the opposition, of course.
Right.
Yes.
I have an assessment, and you'll help me decipher it. I feel like the opposition as it was a couple of months ago, it's not currently what it is right now. Initially you were more together, you were more we would see you buddies, but nowadays it's like we're seeing Jubilee by itself, Wiper by itself. For example, I've not seen Honorable Kalonzo in quite a while. Are you in contact with him? Is he okay?
He's fine. He's fine. Certainly it is like I kept saying, we have to go through a phase of strengthening our own parties.
Right.
Because the opposition will be as strong as each individual party is. And then, of course, you remember everybody was a presidential candidate. I'm not saying anybody has dropped, but Kenyans themselves have continuous dropping people by themselves. Anasema ni sawa, hata wewe kama ulikuwa unapenda unaweza endelea na hiyo mapenzi, lakini si tunaona, lakini mapenzi yako haijafika kiwango.
Yes.
So if you look at this game, now again other people like Ligiji did say that this time now he is running.
Yes.
You know, all along he was supporting Kalonzo. I'm sure maybe that might be one of the reasons Kalonzo, you might not have seen him quite a bit. I'm sure he's organizing himself.
Right.
But you see, truth be told, hii mambo ni vizuri kuisema vile iko. Wengine wote hata sisi ambao tuko na matumaini ambao hatukutamka iko kwa roho ya kuwa rais. Hii kitu sasa iko na watu wawili. Ni Kalonzo na Matiang'i. Sasa hapo ndio hiyo kitu imekwamia. Wengine wetu we are little people who have desires. Kama vile Rigiji yake ameitamka ya kuwa rais, mimi yangu si kuitamka, iko kwa roho. So and it is going to be that way.
Yes.
But where we are, and if you ask Kenyans themselves, wanakuambia hii kitu ni Matiang'i na Kalonzo. Of course, not because I'm coming from Matiang'i's corner.
Right.
Because Jubilee is Matiang'i's corner, but I can tell you that pale mwanzo ulikuwa unaniuliza ako wapi, anasema hajatangaza nini. Hiyo mambo yote sasa ameenda, and his name is very common.
Yes.
In the tongues of people. In a normal conversation, when you talk about the alternative, I am sure people mention him first and others follow.
Mheshimiwa, I want us to take that break I'd mentioned. Yes. We get into the news. When we return, there's one question that has been on everybody's tongue. Apparently, President Uhuru gave $500 million somewhere for elections. Mimi nataka utuambie kwa kweli, that time you were the SG of Jubilee, weren't you? Kama hiyo pesa ilitoka Jubilee, ilitoka kwa Mheshimiwa Uhuru, ama ilitoka kwingine? Na hiyo pesa ilienda wapi?
Tuko tayari.
Aya, twende kazi.
Radio Generation, the home of urban soul. This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. Police have arrested 2 suspects following a robbery with violence and a shooting incident along the Alkune-Dagalei Road in Garissa County. Officers from Dagalei Police Station, working with detectives from Dadaab DCI, arrested 26-year-old suspect at Dagalei Market after tracking him down. The suspect confessed to the attacks and led police to a hidden AK-47 rifle, which was recovered buried underground and wrapped in a jacket. A magazine loaded with 3 rounds of ammunition was also seized. 3 committee maximum security prison wardens have been convicted for helping convicted terrorists escape in November 2021. A Kahawa Law Court fined Robert Kipkirui Soy and Kaikai Talengo Moses 100,000 Kenya shillings each, or 6 months imprisonment in default. The third warden, Willie Wambua, was fined 200,000 Kenya shillings, or 1 year in default, and an additional 800,000 Kenya shillings, or 2 years imprisonment, for organizing a meeting supporting a terrorist group. All 3 were found guilty of neglecting official duties, aiding prisoners to escape, and facilitating terrorist activities. A family from Mukhunga village in Budalangi constituency, Busia County, is appealing to the government to help bring the body of their son who died in Russia. 38-year-old Oscar Agola is reported to have traveled to Russia, where he was recruited as a soldier. He was killed while fighting in the Russia-Ukraine war in June last year. The family says it cannot afford the cost of transporting his body back to Kenya.
Alipigwa na drone. Yeye akiwa ni mwanajeshi wa Russia. Pale wanapigana na drones. Hatuwezi tukaanza kujidanganya ya kwamba tunaweza tukawa na hela za kuweza kugharimia.
Activists who are supporting the family called on the state to stop the recruitment of Kenyans into the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Rais William Ruto, as the chairman of the Security Committee, the issue of Russia should not run away from your mind. You must set up, you must stand up, and you must make sure that the recruitment of young people into the Russian war is stopped.
A Mombasa man has been sentenced to 20 years in prison for repeatedly defiling a 14-year-old girl in Likoni sub-county. The DPP successfully proved the case in court, with 4 witnesses confirming the sexual abuse that is said to have occurred in March of 2024. Senior resident magistrate David Odhiambo ruled that the evidence, including medical reports, clearly showed the girl had been defiled. The accused 21-year-old Alhaji Majaliwa had lured the girl to live with him for several days, despite knowing she was underage. U.S. Secretary General Antonio Guterres says the rule of law is being replaced by the law of jungle and urged world leaders to stick to international law to keep peace and justice. Guterres spoke during a UN Security Council debate led by Somalia, which is chairing the council this month. This comes at a time when conflicts are rising, global tensions are growing, and trust in international rules is falling.
Around the world, the rule of law is replaced by the law of the jungle. We see flagrant violations of international law and brazen disregard for the UN Charter. From Gaza to Ukraine and around the world, the rule of law is being treated as an a la carte menu. We see states flouting the rule of law with impunity through the illegal use of force, the targeting of civilian infrastructure, human rights violations and abuses.
And that's the truth on Radio Generation. Good morning. I'm Winnie Maganga.
A very good morning to you. Welcome back to Radio Generation. Thank you, Winnie Maganga, for that news. We are now getting deep into this conversation. And in the previous hour, if you've just joined us, we are hosting Honorable Jeremiah Kioni. He is the Deputy Party Leader, one of the Deputy Party Leaders of Jubilee Party. Mheshimiwa, karibu tena sana. Remind me, how many deputies does Jubilee have? 4 the year?
Wako pale, lakini mimi ni deputy.
Yes.
Basi na ni mimi nimekuja.
Na ni hivyo.
Sasa tuendelee.
Hiyo story ishi hapo.
Hiyo tuendelee na hiyo style. Tuendelee na hiyo style. This thing iko namna hiyo.
So Mheshimiwa, like I said in the previous hour, I was going to ask you about $500 million that was it was $500 million, right? 500 million.
The figure stated was $500 million.
So, but we've never had someone to say that, you know, to substantiate and say that indeed it was sent, who sent it, whether it was sent as from Jubilee Party, was it sent from the personal wallets of President Uhuru? It's never really been clear, Mheshimiwa. So kindly help us understand. Was, first of all, any money given by President Uhuru in the name of paying party agents of Azimio at the time?
Any presidential candidate who wants to be successful, and any presidential campaign that makes sense, it is the one that has a clear way of fundraising. And Azimio, one of the key component of what was being done by the former head of state was to fundraise.
Yes.
And he's a very good fundraiser for political activities.
Yeah.
Extremely. Because there are many people who believe in him. Once people believe in you, you become a very easy person to raise funds for. Laila was also a very good fundraiser.
Okay.
Outside the two, I maybe now William, but I don't see other serious political fundraisers.
Okay.
And Uhuru did fundraise from his friends, even when he was doing his campaign 2017, 2013. I saw him get huge financial support from friends, which is something that is it's a big asset.
Yes.
And he brought that asset to Azimio. He fundraised. Other than payment of agents, you need to do more because there are many other things that require a lot of funding. But he fundraised and sent money for, among other issues, the ones for agents. So what I've seen from the media, what I saw from Junet is true. Money was sent. I think it was 600 million, not $500 million. It was 600 million. That was set aside for agents, and that money was it's normally the person who was then in charge of those logistics. If it's not the campaign team, is the AG, not the SG.
Yes.
And in this particular case, we had the SG for Azimio,
right?
Who was an ace, still is Mheshimiwa Junet Mohammed.
Okay.
And then also Baba needed a confidant. You know, those are issues that are given to a very close person.
Yes.
And again, Junet fitted that bill then. I don't know whether he does now that Baba is dead. And so he will continue chewing his own tongue.
Yeah.
And all those things mpaka ulimi ikwishe. Lakini yeye mwenyewe alijiletea hiyo shida. Sisi tulikuwa tunajua kuna hiyo shida.
Yeah.
Why agents were not paid across the country. Na yeye mwenyewe kwa sababu ndiye alileta, sasa aendelee kupatiana majibu na atapatiana mingi. Jaribu kuleta huyu, achike huyu, alete ndani, achike huyu, alete ndani. Lakini mwisho ya mambo ni kwamba ilikuwa jukumu yake.
Okay.
Na hii jukumu halikutekelezwa.
Right.
Pesa zilitoka, lakini jukumu halikutekelezwa.
Okay.
Though still Baba won, he is one of the single most reasons as to why Baba struggled with his campaigns.
Okay.
Yes, Junet.
Right.
Mohammed.
Before we leave this whole issue,
did not help Baba win that campaign. He helped him struggle.
I'd like, let him take a sip of his coffee.
Yes.
Mheshimiwa.
Sukari hapa vijiko 3. Sasa tu.
Expound on it.
Yes.
When you say he made Baba struggle, what do you mean?
Because you see, one is that he made our campaign ya matusi. Unajua, he was all over saying, mwizi, mwizi. You know, it became our slogan, mwizi, calling Ruto mwizi. And I'm not saying he's not. But that's not, sloganeering is in our plan or a program. Insults is not a plan, is not a program. So you can give people names, but you really need to give an alternative. There are many people who will be left sitting on the fence saying, Sasawa, I don't like, or that was a transition period. I may not be liking this guy, but these people still didn't tell us what they were going to do. I'm sure we left a few people in Azimio on the edge. They quite didn't get. Because he was, anywhere we went, he was the MC, he was the one monopolizing the microphone. He literally was running Baba. Unfortunately. And we complained about it. Huko.
You complained to whom, Mheshimiwa?
Among ourselves.
Okay.
Among ourselves. We would say, hii haifanyi. When we go back to Jubilee ourselves, we say, yeah, but there's little we can do, because while we are in Azimio, Baba has come from ODM, and his activities are centered around individuals who are in ODM. That is one. Two is that aspect of the agents. Our agents were really under the control of UDA.
What do you mean?
Yes.
Azimio agents were under the control of
in fact,
UDA.
Some of the Azimio agents who received any payment, they say, mi nimepata Azimio lakini mi nilikuwa naangalia ballot ya UDA. That's also common huko nje. So that was another area that was completely bungled. And number 3 is that even when you go, I don't know what Kanchori said, but
yes,
again, management of bombers is another place that requires management. Again, under Junet, and if you call some people who are close to that system, then they'll tell you that Junet again failed to do, and I'm sure that Kanchori
did say that.
Junet failed to do what was expected of him, or even obstructed in the doing of it.
Okay.
We needed a good turnout in Nyanza. Again, him being the one
SG.
controlling Bamba, not just the SG, the one running Baba, failed to concentrate on bringing out the voter from that area, because if you are running as a presidential candidate, we expect to see an 80% plus turnout in your area.
Yeah.
Because those 200,000 votes clearly are votes that didn't turn out in Nyanza. And that was enough to have made Baba the president, if we go by the numbers that were given. So there are a couple of those things. And then they went on celebratory mode.
Yes.
Too early. Said, kama tuko na uhuru, kama tuko na Mount Kenya, kama tuko na serikali, tumeshida. They failed to understand that the reason why you are in power is not to capture the institution and use them for what is not provided for in the constitution.
Yeah.
It is to allow them to function, and that's what Uhuru did. And I expect the institution to function the same 2027.
Yeah.
And I see people having difficulties.
All right.
Yes.
I have a question in regards to what you've just said, because Junet Mohammed again at one point was captured saying that President Uhuru had everything. He had the power literally with him, and if he had wanted, he would have handed the presidency on a silver platter to President to the late Raila Odinga. What exactly did he mean by that? Was he expecting President Uhuru to rig the elections?
If we are used to stealing, he thought everybody would steal. And you know, the song has always been Muriba Uchaguzi, so he thought that ataibiwa, and I've been telling them since they joined, and especially now that he's actually the one almost running Ruto again. Si wasome sava.
Waone kama kulikuwa na wizi.
Na waanze 2007. Waweke wazi kwa Wakenya waone 2000 ilibiwa namna hii, 2013, 2017, 2022, so that then we can avoid going through the same route as Kenyans.
Okay.
And if now he has gone in because he wants, unajua pia, if you listen to Marara was is recorded, or he is on record as saying that yeye na Gachagua walikuwa hawa ndio sisi ndio tuliiba kura, kwa hivyo tunajua vile kura zinaibiwa. He was saying it when they were in the sides of Mombasa. Gachagua confirmed the other day that they actually stole votes.
Yes.
You know, these are their own ones.
Yeah.
They will find it very difficult to steal votes, and because they stole, meaning that they are the ones who knew how to steal.
Yes.
This not the Uhuru whom they thought would steal it easily, and I'm sure they will wake up to a very it will be a rude awakening.
Yes.
When you now get to understand what is deep.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get back to...
You cannot steal votes without the help of a clerk.
Right. You cannot steal votes without the help of a clerk.
A returning officer.
Okay.
The person who referes the ballots. The one who counts. Those are the doors of stealing votes. And of course, your agents must be ready to keep quiet. All those are Kenyans. The Kenyans who have decided to the tune of 82% that they'll vote Ruto out. This is a referendum on Ruto. And they have said they'll vote him out even before they decide who
is their next president.
They are going to have in as a president.
Resolve
is not an easy resolve. And let me add this thing to it.
Right.
Nilienda airport kuchukua baba when he was coming from India, the body.
Okay.
Na vijana wakakuja wakamkujia. They were clearer in their minds than us. Wao wamekuja kuchukua mwili ya baba. We had gone for a ceremony to receive the remains of baba.
Yes.
You know, wao walikuwa wameenda kuchukua baba wao. And they literally did it. We had nothing to do with that process at the airport. They came with their border light inside.
Yes. Some hata walipanda ndege.
Walikuwa napanda ndege.
Mahali mwili imewekwa.
Na border. Was it not for the quick thinking of our forces?
Yes.
Very disciplined. This perhaps leo tutakuwa tunatafuta baba huko Mathare, ako Kibila, amekibichwa. They were going to do that on us. Those people who came for baba at the airport. The people I saw at Nyayo.
Yes.
And the people I saw in Bodo will go for their ballot 2027. Please, don't dare tamper. They will come for you.
You know,
I am telling you, let me say this in capital letters.
Yes.
Watakukujia. Hawa vijana watakukujia na hawajui na wataki kujua. Wamedecide we unaenda nyumbani. Give us your exit plan. Hii mambo ingine mingi ya nyota na kila pahali kutembea na kupiga Gachagua kwa kanisa na tear gas. Achana naye.
Tutakuja hapo kwa tear gas. But umesema there's a figure you've said there, 82%. You've not said above 50%. You've not said majority of Kenyans. You
82%.
have not. You have.
I'll tell you because wewe mwenyewe kwanza ndio ulichapisha hiyo kitu.
Okay.
Na nafikiri naona kwa hiyo kitu yako hii ya generation. Niona tu kwa TV. Unaonyesha graph ilikuwa inaonyeshana Western.
Right.
Na Western, the polls that were recently done by Infratrack.
Yes.
They were showing at Ruto at 25%. Western, Kakamega area. Matiang'i at 18. Kalonzo at what? Mother.
Those Natembeya and others.
Yes. All the way. the simple thing that you look at is Ruto is one side, serikali. Na hii ingine yote ni ngapi?
Okay, so you've minused what the president had and you took the entire opposition.
The entire opposition is outside government.
Okay.
That's the Kenyan position. And they are actually at 82%.
Okay.
Ruto is doing 18%. Mtu moja na nukta kasa.
Okay.
82% of people having said no.
Yes.
You will have, it is a struggle to steal. Na hao watu watakujia kura zao.
Okay.
Na watakujia kura na wewe. Unajua hii mambo tulikuwa tunaenda State House Tuesday, remember Tuesday?
Yes, I remember Tuesday.
Ya sufuria.
And Thursday.
Na vijana wakakuja tena wakana mambo ya Gen Z. Na walikuja.
Yes.
Hiyo ndio imewekwa kwa chef. I am appealing to the people in government. Please do not dare. It cannot work. Kenyans have said no. Nimeenda kununua nyama juzi.
Kwa butchery ama supermarket?
Okay. Butchery. Nikauliza yule jamaa ananiuzia nyama na nikamwambia, naona mmeletoa mambo sasa mko sawa. Mmeletoa mmebebewa kubebewa, mmejaziwa kujazwa. Nikamwambia sisi tuliamua mapema. The decision we made at the beginning, we made it. Jo mtu ana uwezo, hana mwelekeo, uongo ni mingi, na tulimjua. We got to know his colors.
Yes.
Too early. He allowed us to know him, his true colors too early.
Yes.
Nobody will change. Hata hii watu umeweka kwa gazeti wakileta maneno gani. Lakini msioane kupiga watu. Mnatengeneza doa si ya kutafuta goons.
Yes.
Ni ya kutafuta watoto.
On that issue of former DP Gachagua, there was a headline in one of the dailies last week saying that Gachagua now seeks to partner with President Uhuru in one way or another, of course going towards 2027. What did that newspaper mean? I don't know if you saw it. I don't know if you agree with that.
There have been many articles and articles generated by individuals perhaps with desires and outcome.
Yes.
We in Jubilee are preparing ourselves to have a viable alternative. We will be ready to work with all the other opposition parties.
Right.
DCB included. And because at the end of the day, mwenye atachaguliwa pale juu si ni mmoja.
Ndio.
Lakini hapa chini si watu wasiagane. Watasiagana kama unga. Itakuwa kama ile inaitwa nini ile unga watu wanapika sasa ya sana ugali. Hiyo itakuwa kama hiyo.
And also what we witnessed yesterday not yesterday, sorry, but over the weekend.
Before.
Yes.
Must be condemned.
Yes. Why are we witnessing this kind of violence this early into an election campaign period?
It's informed by the statement I made earlier that Kenyans have decided.
Yeah.
Nyumbani ni home.
Yes.
Na wale ambao wako serikalini, William now is aware.
Okay.
That Kenyans have decided. So he's gone back to this is actually domestic terrorism.
Exactly.
And it is something that must be condemned. It is, even when we were fighting for multi-party democracy, I don't remember us tear-gassing the churches.
Yes, and children.
And children in the churches, Sunday schools. That's the lowest that you can go as a leader. And the fact that even up to where we are, nobody has been arrested, it tells you that the government knew and knows what is going on. Yeah. Kawaida ya Kenya hii na tunajulikana duniani mzima, upelelezi yetu iko juu sana. Mapo yetu ya kunusa shida iko juu sana. In any case, the budget, the vote, a budget that goes for purposes of ensuring that NIS have the information is huge. And we have agents of NIS every corner, I'm sure, including in your studios here.
Yeah.
So there is no way such a thing can happen without the government having smelled it. Na wale watu wako kule udhaya wanaelewa, kwa sababu wenyewe ukiwauliza, na kwa sababu mimi nilikuwa dunia hiyo hata ingawa sikuwa udhaya. I was in that neighborhood.
Yes.
Wanasema kwamba watu waliwaona ni wageni.
Yeah.
Even the officers of udhaya
didn't recognize this one.
They had not smelled that one in Udhaya.
Okay.
Meaning it is terrorism that was exported to Udhaya. the peace-loving people over there, who had given us the third president of the Republic of Kenya, who did very well. That's not the way to reward them.
Okay.
Na kama ni watu ambao ni wabunge, kama vile naona gazeti nasema ni wabunge wanafanya hiyo kazi, like the ones who are being ready to have done it, they need to be arrested. And this is also, Ruto has a plan. Or let me say, this regime has a plan.
Yes.
And the regime is again to isolate the Mount Kenya community and show them as the tribalist and create chaos among them.
Okay.
For many reasons, including that if chaos are brought within the region, the turnout will be low. That's one of the ways of suppressing the vote.
Voter suppression.
Yeah, that is voter suppression. There is also intimidating people, so that people become fearful. Ninaenda kupiga kula kuwe namna gani? And I want to appeal to them that they should not be intimidated. They should not feel, they should come out and vote, because like a pastor said yesterday, the day before yesterday at Banana, that is, we must be very intentional. This time around, we go out and remove this regime that has failed us in all ways. Yes.
Now, we have seen that lately now Dr. Matiang'i has come out more and more vocal now, talking on issues and even making media appearances. You've said that this is part of the plan. Of course, now everyone anajipigia debe ndio tukuje kujuli, ndio Wakenya waweze kuchagua ni nani ambaye wanataka awaongoze. In terms of what we need to look forward to, the activities of Jubilee, and of course now we see even leadership has, things have changed at that particular level. What are we looking forward to in terms of just the kinds of activities where Jubilee is going to be carrying out?
We want to kick out a countrywide campaign now.
Yes.
You may not know, certainly you don't know, but looking at Fred Matiang'i and the other presidential candidate and looking at William, Matiang'i could only be coming second to the number of meetings that are held by presidential candidates in this country. He is permanently in meetings. Community leaders, elders, form many meetings, all the way until almost 2 a.m. in the night.
Okay.
He is not a camera person, and he's not a media person. But in terms of getting people to win his winning people over,
yes,
to his agenda, that he has been doing quite well. But Kenyan's politics, be as it may, politics that require you to see you moving around, making some noises. We hope we make palatable noises. But Kenyan wanapenda hiyo kelele, wanataka kukuona kule juu na ukicheza dance ina fulani. Kwa hivyo hata Matiang'i asipoicheza sisi tutaicheza. Hiyo ndio kazi ambayo mimi nataka kuifanya. Kwa sababu kila mtu anajua kwamba mimi mwenyewe nilianzisha hii kampeni ya Matiang'i. Yes. I am the one first who mentioned Matiang'i, and we kept campaigning for him when he was out there until he came. Na pia ulinichocha sana, unafanyia mtu kampeni hajasema nini wewe, ulikuwa mpaka nakaa kidogo naogopa generation.
Ukadhani tumelipwa.
Nikalifikiria hawa watu lazima wametumwa. But eventually I'm happy he came and he spoke.
Yes.
He's done media interviews. There's a lot that is needed to be that is going to be done.
Yes.
He's putting his team together of everything, and that's the area that we want to concentrate on, so that we can make sense of his ticket among Kenyans.
We are also seeing movements within the ODM party where we a lot has been happening. Well, of course, you've not been blind to it. Are we looking at in one point ODM partnering with, or are they? Because we can clearly see, and they've said that they are not going for anything short of a DP position with the UDA. If that doesn't work on their end, are they allowed to come back to the opposition and renegotiate and perhaps see how they can form or be part of the next government?
There are very many
with Jubilee included.
To that question,
okay.
To that statement. One is that ODM is where I was with Jubilee 3 years ago.
Right.
Not enviable at all.
Yeah.
If they're not careful, they won't come out of this. They will not be ready for elections because there will be very many people who are willing to, dismantle them,
cannibalize them
for free. Very many, and there's a section of ODM that looks very willing, to be cannibalized, and that is the section that is saying they don't want anything less of a DP position. So it is not ODM that is asking for a DP position. It is a wing of ODM that is asking for a DP position.
Okay.
And that is a wing led by Oburu. And it is a wing, they're asking for a DP as a negotiating thing, which is normal. They won't get. I think it's also good to tell what our Kenya, they will not get. Why?
Is this your assessment or you're certain this one?
I'm very certain. Okay. And we can even bet here. Inaviko betatu ya kahawa. Ambayo iko na sukari. Ambayo iko na sukari. Kwa sababu the portion of ODM that is left with William is very small. Okay. He will still be left with a few.
All right.
And how many votes are they able to garner? Again, insignificant. So they cannot garner for anything. And they will be lucky to get a ministry.
All right.
Yes.
Seriously?
I am telling you. You will wait and see. That's one. Two, you see, William is spending all the resources he has to try and bribe people in the mountain.
Yes.
Why? Because he knows that block, that vote is crucial.
Yes.
Number three, Kidiki comes from there. So he would have to explain to people who are already not happy with him why he has again dumped them. So the ODM die is cast. There is nothing they are getting from UDA.
Okay.
Though I used and finish. Number two or number three is that ODM is within Azimio. The only legally binding coalition that is there is Azimio, where we are also members of. And what should be happening in the coming days, I hope Kalonzo can do that. If he doesn't, that somebody else will do it, is to call the Azimio remnants, wale ambao wamebaki, so that we can also talk about how do we rescue our brother ODM. I remember that Raila Amolo Odinga was very instrumental in rescuing Jubilee. He came to my office not once, not twice, to come and give me encouragement and fight from our end.
Okay.
And we as Jubilee owe him, a return for the same. And I'm ready and willing to join the Sifunas, the Babus, Orengo, Winnie,
the Amisis,
that team. In fact, in their next rally, I should be there as part of showing solidarity and thanking Baba for helping us get out of that mess. But also, they are ODM has played a crucial part in the democratic movement of this country, freedom of association, of expression, of worship and all those things.
Yes.
The fundamentals, our constitution. And it's a party that we should fight for. We should allow it to play its role, even with the Baba having left. So I hope that sense will prevail, and eventually they will allow the party to be ODM. This wing of Winnie is the one that is representing, is there for what Baba stood for.
Yes.
This other one is there for purposes of passing time. Baba crossed over to pass time and come to a part time where he can play his usual politics.
Yes.
So they thought that alikuwa ameolewa huko. Hapana. They are the ones trying to. But this betrayal is there in politics. You see people betraying. I saw it in Jubilee. People betrayed Uhuru. That's also the other thing that caused this debacle of Azimio.
Yes.
Junet, that's betrayal. Because when you are being given money of that nature, it's taken that given your loyalty to Raila and this cause, you use it for what it is intended for. Pesa ya campaign si kama ile ya sukari ya tunapatiwa risiti. Sasa huyu amepatiwa na amehama naye ni kama mtu alichukua bangi ya wenyewe. Akatoroka tu. Kwa hivyo hiyo ndio ile shida iko, and that is betrayal.
Yes.
And this is the betrayal I saw of the Kaninis and Sabinas in Jubilee. So political parties, that betrayal is what we are also seeing within ODM now. Yes. And this is now betrayal of the spirit ya baba. Spirit ya baba haiko padio. Iko even at during his normal moments alikuwa anauliza watu nani alisema ODM haitakuwa na candidate 2027. That's now baba speaking. Hii gine ilikuwa ya kujaribu kumanage the situations as they were.
Yes.
So we will be together with the Sifunas, Babus, Senator Olengo, the governor, and the Winnie team, Hamisi. That is where I believe that the opposition
belongs. Yeah.
Hapo ndio sufuria. Hapo ndio sufuria inaigiana nzuri.
You have said rescue. So what is the plan exactly, or what is the intention? Let me say, to get into to help these individuals break away.
I'll tell you what my experience with the whole of that is that whenever we got ourselves to that scenario as Jubilee, and that is why I respect the only person who never betrayed me, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta.
Yes.
Is he will always say, where are we? Can we do an NDC? Which is the organ of the people. Let the people come and say, Chamaya wiko wapi.
Okay.
So he more than once went back to the same. And where ODM should be heading is to an NDC. Wachana mambo ya boardroom sasa.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu boardroom hii itasemekana ni akina wale. Ya hii ni akina wale. Twende kongamano na NDC. Wakenya wenyewe wenye chama watasema hii ndio mwelekeo tunataka. So that's how it's actually for that reason that we have the party Jubilee. You know, we have had 3 NDCs in the last 3 years actually.
Yes.
We have had an NDC almost every year. It's an expensive affair.
Yes.
But outside the NDC, you are not able to rescue a party. And I believe that the Sifunas angle should really push for an NDC. Perhaps go for a special NDC. It will have to be a special one. And they can demand for one. And if they have a problem, they can get the court to order for one. But they have to be very careful because having your party in court at this time, you are exposing yourself in a big way to the people in power to mismanage your institution.
The president said that he wants to double his support base in the mountain region.
Double?
Yes. You know, from whatever he had in the previous election, he'd like to double it.
He'll be doubling his loss or tripling his loss. Double? What did you say?
Yeah. It was actually, again, in one of the dailies last week.
It's he has a problem repeating what he said yesterday because of this thing of lying all the time. So I really would want to hear him say that again.
Yeah.
Double?
He wants to double the support that he had. So if he had 1 million votes, he wants to make it 2 million.
Well, and if he stole 1 million, he wants to steal 2.
Let's just go with the double.
Double? You're saying double the votes. We know some of them were stolen, others are... So how I wish he would actually listen to Kenyans and prepare an exit plan. When Kenyans have decided, decide. Kwanza kwa mlima, mkubuche mambo ya kipipiri. Yes. Kipipiri. And I want to tell you, I know what we are being told. Many projects will be completed this time round. We want the projects completed.
Yes.
It's not a favor, it's a right.
Actually, I think it was yesterday. He said that he has delivered over 70%? He said 80%, yeah?
80% of what?
Of the campaign promises he made.
You know.
Yeah, he has said that his government has delivered 80% of the promises that he made during campaign.
This is the same person who promised us that the gas raiders will cost 300 shillings.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so why would you want to think so hard about what he says now?
Maybe the 300 belong to the 20 that has not been delivered.
When we were listening to those statements, it was at the beginning of the term, because that is when you are assessed, and he's proved himself incapable of fulfilling any of the promises that he promised. You can now see when he goes to the mountain, he doesn't talk about Singapore until he goes back to Lake Victoria, where there is a lake. I think he sees like when you get onto that lake, it can take you to Singapore. He should be told across the other side is Uganda. It's not Singapore. kwa sababu akikuja kwa mlima au hasemi hiyo maneno.
Mlima iko na mlima bro.
Yes. So you know this lying anadanganya watu kweli kweli mtu, lakini Mwenyezi Mungu anapatia watu vipawa tofauti. Hii yake ni kali.
Mheshimiwa, there's something that I always find interesting when I speak with politicians like you, whom I have some respect for. The state of the nation and what it is important to be spoken of.
Yes.
This government is blamed for very many things that end up in the result of a very sizable portion of this particular citizens of this country being unable to even have a guarantee of a meal a day.
Yeah, we are now there.
The socio-economic situation is dire, and those of you who say you are in the opposition, the United Opposition story, that one we will not mention in the opposition.
I'm happy about that.
One doesn't hear of you telling us how it is you plan to remove us out of this. You are telling us things that we see, we know. We listen to what the president says. We live here. We know what they say. When the promise is made, we can track the promises and we can know exactly what has been fulfilled, what hasn't. The thing that the country needs is how it is we are going to right our economic situation so that the number of people whom, according to the Global Hunger Index, which is 38%, people who are living in those dire situations, does not keep increasing, because according to them, the year 2025, the current 2026, this is the highest number that Kenya has ever seen in 25 years.
Or people cannot...
Yes, highest in 25 years.
This is certainly something that cannot be sorted out through, like I've said, assembling a dictionary of insults, or through sloganeering. And like we said after our next meeting, we don't want to get into that phase of sloganeering. Unfortunate for Kenyans, they are moved more with slogans.
Kenyans love sloganeering.
They love sloganeering, they love insults. But it is important that they wake up to the fact that it cannot change this country an inch. So during our next meeting, we resolved that we must put an alternative agenda on the table now for Kenyans to interrogate. And we have a team that is doing that already, so that any other time we are speaking of a policy, an agenda of numbers that we now understand. We actually put in a person who is very good in crunching these numbers, the statistical bad numbers that are available, because they're available within our government records. You don't need to go and reinvent them.
Yeah.
So it is something that I appreciate. We want to talk about, when you say SHA is not working, what do we have in mind? When you say this education system is not working, what is this that we have in mind? When you talk about electricity connectivity again, what are our targets going forward? Tarmacking of roads, you remember we were talking of 10,000. Things that are measurable and things are doable and things Kenyans can actually see and say, these things if done, they'll actually help us. We have to talk about the issues Kenyans complain about heavily, about this housing thing. You know, when we were wearing sufria on our heads, those houses are not being constructed. But now we have a number of them constructed. So even as we condemn that whole project, we must know, what do you do with these ones that are already constructed? And these are things that Kenyans are already asking. You can hear them saying, sipatiwe polisi, sipatiwe jeshi, sipatiwe. So we must also come in a clear thinking with on all these issues. When you talk about some of the issues, of course, are things that I can talk about here. Like when we say free education, that is something that we are committed to go back to where we were and beyond. When you talk about insurance of pupils in school, something that is doable, it was tried, it will be done immediately. Reader Mama, the trucks are still packed all over in the country way. It may not come as Reader Mama, but it must come as a way of ensuring that babies are not delivered by the roadside anymore in this country. And women don't face that risk of dying just because they are delivering. we must be able to be clear about how are we helping young people who are leaving universities. Remember, we had a 7-year tax break.
Yes.
And helping them with startup capital. Because we didn't quite believe in exporting of our young people to go to Russia, only for them to end up being in the army. You know, that's the unfortunate thing.
Yes.
They are thrown into the army and you no longer get to hear from them. So ujui kama walikufa ama wako. So these are kind of things. We have to have a very clear foreign policy. As it is now, how is it that we are linked with the RSF in Southern Sudan? How is it that we cannot be able to come out clear on this mambo ya Minnesota, the scandal, the issuing of IDs and passports. There are many things that we need to. We saw what happened in Tanzania, the fact that we could not even condemn it. We are being accused of stealing gold from Congo. You know, hii mambo yote ni mambo lazima tuyasugumze mapema.
Kweli.
Na Wakenya watu waelewe. Kwa hivyo na kuna mambo mengi, but the good thing about it is that it's fixable. If Kibaki was able to say while he was still at Muthaiga with plaster on his leg and I think his hand, mguu ikiwa juu kwa hewa na mkono alikuwa anakaa namna hii, ni mdomo tu ilikuwa na macho. Unajua macho yake was all over. Ni macho tu alikuwa anasukuja macho namna hii na mdomo.
Ni kweli.
Na akasema free primary education. And 1 million kids joined primary school. These problems of Kenyans are solvable, you know. One of the other things that was done under Jubilee government, which never got out for Kenyans to know, was the fact that in your own county, we have minerals. In your own county, every county in this country has minerals. So every county must know what kind of mineral is within their own boundaries and how can it be exploited. These mineral resources are also useful in turning around the country. You now can hear the stories of Mlima Hills, where you have the rare earth thing.
Yes.
And we are told that Mlima Hill has been sold. The contract was being signed in Australia between some individuals here and some companies to some of these things. I don't think those documents have been brought to Parliament because so we will be putting things on the paper, but also let Kenyans know that this thing requires a manager. Matiang'i may have difficulties in perhaps coming out more often than people want, but I admire his zeal to manage and turn things around, and I'm sure by that time Kenyans will have seen his ability to do that. In any case,
yes,
we can only choose from among those who have offered themselves, and I believe he is the best among them.
Mheshimiwa, when you were a member of parliament, did you ever go to parliament unopposed?
I never went to parliament unopposed, and that is a very useful thing, because you learn to know that you have to compete, and you must be able to let people know why are you a better choice, why are you a better option. So I never went in.
How many times were you elected as member of parliament?
I have been there twice as elected member of parliament. Remember, there is another time I never ran. I ran with Musalia. This other one, we were managing right more than running for our elections. So I am out for many reasons.
How many people in your constituency have been elected twice?
In my constituency, it's been Kajani. Most of the people have been given a single term.
Precisely. By the time people elect you, there's a reason why they are electing you.
Yes.
And it's not because they don't have an alternative. They have an alternative.
Yes.
There must be something they have seen that convinces them that if you get that seat, their lives will change.
Yes.
The biggest problem we seem to have is one of debt in this country. Nobody in the opposition, nobody in government talks about how that debt matter can be settled. The only person who has spoken about debt in a manner that is actually cohesive is somebody called Jimmy Wanjigi.
He is fairly fluent when talking about it.
That's why I said cohesive.
Cohesive, but
yes.
I doubt whether he's practical. But let's go on.
I'm talking about spoken.
Yeah.
Nobody has, I haven't gone to the doing.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the speaking. The bane of our existence, the pain that we have, when we look at how much we pay, it is clearly and very directly related to what we owe.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
In my opinion, that is, any respectable politician or a group of politicians who want to change the country must address the bane of our existence. None of you in the opposition address these things. Why?
And our debt requires restructuring. And the restructuring of the debt is that where you are able to less expensive loans and take in cheap loans. The bottom line for that to happen is institutions, international institutions must have faith in your country and mainly in the governance of your country. They pay a lot of attention to the happenings, like the demonstrations, the kind of finance bill that you have, your ability to collect revenue and the rest. And we have fared very poorly. So I am not sure that William has been able to restructure our debt in any meaningful manner, for the reason that the international community has very little faith. In fact, they have no faith in his style of management. So we've continued to borrow expensive loans and maintain in our books very expensive loans. There before, I remember even as we were doing campaigns for 2022, yes, and I think 2017 also, but 2022, we were told by Treasury we have a queue of willing donors and funders who are saying we can give you money. And when that comes, then you're able to less expensive loans and take in cheaper loans. So on top of, I think one of the key things is to restructure those loans because we have very expensive loans. Number two is also to ensure that you cut on wastage so that we don't need to borrow more. We use what we can collect and repay many of the debts. Number three is, of course, also making sure that where if we ever borrow, we borrow because the money is invested in areas that it can pay itself back. You know, it is not a question of doing business, but we borrowed for Kenyans to enable Kenyans do business as soon as we can collect more. So in the whole of this exercise is you don't reduce the tax level of an individual, but perhaps broaden the catchment area and you reduce the tax burden of that. And it is possible if, again, we reduce on the wastage and the rest. Remember, we were being told that, I think there's a week we were being told we will reduce how much? 87 billion in a week? Or is it something like
Those
that?
amounts are staggering.
You know, sometimes you think somebody has printed it wrongly, but when you look at it, it is there in the social media, it's there in the government books, it's there in the newspaper, then you said something is not adding up. So there is a lot of wastage in this country. We were looking at it the other day with our presidential candidate, Fred Matiang'i, and he was telling us that, you know, we had by-elections in Nyamira of 3, which we all won. We won all of them. Those 3 by-elections, there was a time you'll find in there 7 shoppers coming to a ward to do campaign. 7 shoppers. By the way, and then the number of times that that area was visited by the state was 11 times. And every time you are moving the president, you can imagine the cost of that. That wastage, in fact, it makes us remember is nostalgia. Kibaki would invite us to taste State House, mpaka sisi wenyewe hatukuwa tunaona maana ya kwenda State House.
Kwa nini?
Ilikuwa ukifika pale iko sturu mrefu. Kwa hivyo hakuna kukaa. Sturu mrefu lazima usimame. Na pale juu imewekelewa chai, kahawa pale na mandazi na ndoma. Hivyo kama closer sausage lazima
uko na bahati
ulikuwa umefika mapema. Sasa hii maneno ilikuwa kabla upite pale uende kule. Unapitia hapa Sagret. unakula kanyama yako hapa ndio uende ukasikize mzee. So he made it that simple.
Yeah.
And to a point where tulikuwa hii mambo tulikuwa naambia State House. Some of the dining rooms were never opened. These things that mnaenda kukula huko, they were never opened. He never opened them.
Yeah.
But it was clear in his mind, we need to do savings.
Yes.
That's the only way you can manage this country.
You know, I had
and you remember even not to say that drinking is in it, but one of the things he knew, he can get excessive in drinking or something.
Right.
I would really want to know why he just cut drinking one day and walked there, and all we could get was a glass of water. Yani kama ungetaka kufungua kitu ilikuwa soda na ilikuwa Sprite na Fanta.
That is during President Kibaki's time.
Kibaki's time.
You know, I had something similar of Queen Elizabeth.
Yes.
You meet her, there's no sitting. Munasimama, mnamalizana
na mnaenda.
There's no time to waste.
No time. Yeah. We will need that management here.
Yeah.
A lot of money is wasted now that's why people keep wanting this power. Because a lot of money is wasted by those
meetings.
Curtains, nini, kila wakati, like now alibomoa nyumba akajenga ingine na kutuliza. Kajenga ingine ambayo inamfurahisha. You know, you ask yourself, are you going home or you intend to stay here? Because Kibaki stayed in that house, Moi was there, Kenyatta was there, Uhuru was there. Certainly it required
the governor before.
Even the governor was there. And certainly it required some work.
Yeah.
But kila wakati ukienda pale unaona hii ni ofisi uanze kutumia 3 billion shillings ama utasaidia watoto wasome.
Unasaidia watoto wasome.
Huyu alijenga ingine. Mahali ni kama, you know, is such a king place.
Okay. In terms of the rearrangement we have seen in Jubilee, is President Uhuru planning now to exit? And
President Uhuru has always wanted. He actually is doing what he wanted to do 3 years ago.
Okay.
He would want this institution available for the unborn. And the work that we have is to prepare for that kind of a transition.
Yes.
And he is doing what he wanted to do 3 years ago. He is not going to completely run away from the scene, but you'd want some of us to be more visible.
Yes.
Out and doing the work more.
So he's slowly taking a step back.
Yes, as he should, and as he has decided to do. So you know, the people in State House only are always looking for a bogeyman. Every time he shows, he wants to attend barriers for friends. He wants to go for church services for weddings of grandchildren, watoto wa marafiki zake. Angetaka kwenda kwa hii mambo yote, lakini kila akionekana macho imekodoroa, huyu ati ameniangalia kama anataka nitoke kwa serikali, nilimuona na watoto wengi kuliko watu wazima. You know, those kind of nonsensical statements. He can only be saved from them if he then steps back. But also, you know, if he is able to manage us, you know, manage us into the party,
yes,
the party will grow more because it stops suffering from this kind of attacks. Yeah, you know, you remember even my good friend Gachagua was calling us the Red Wheelbarrow.
Right.
Just the other day, now he has stopped here. Najua hii kitu inaendelea kuwa gumu. Ukiona mtu anakufuata na tia gas mpaka kanisa, you need everybody to withstand this.
Yeah.
By the way,
yes,
you see, if you see those kind of sloganeering will also disappear because we will remain a party and we remain ourselves.
Yes.
And I was saying, by the way, you remember hii safari yote tulianzisha Limuru 3. Hapo ndio tulianzisha hii mambo yote unaona. Limuru 3 is where we started all these things.
Okay.
It is where we said Ruto must go.
Yes.
Na we are committed to that cause up to now.
All right. Now, lastly, obviously since 2022 when all this drama, you know, the legal issues and so on and so forth, the grassroots for Jubilee were a bit weakened. So what are you doing to ensure that now you strengthen them towards 2027?
If our plans, if what we are thinking about comes to fruition, we start almost this week. Maybe in the course of this week, we'll be in Kiabu, we'll be in Nyandarua, we'll be in Nakuru. All these places are having, their offices are already ready. We need to go and open them in Nyeri, we need Nyamira, in Kisii, in Kulia, Mombasa. We are going to go to all those places and ensure that we re-energize our base and give them hope. Without doubt, that legal time there was a beating. And you see also there are times that when you're in a court battle, people think that if you are not on the same side, they may want to look at you as an enemy. But it is time to ensure that even those people who thought we are not together, we are together. Jubilee is home for everybody. Wale ambao walikuwa wamekibia, hata wale ambao walikuwa wamekaa nyumbani na wanakaa kama wamenyechewa, wote sasa waamke twende.
Before I let you go, I need to understand your comment on Safaricom shares and the Kenya Pipeline Company IPO.
Every time the government decides to sell its assets, it's always necessary to ensure that we get the maximum from the market. And that is always informed by credible valuations.
Yes.
Without doubt, I can see a devaluation of the shares of our
Safaricom.
assets, Safaricom. And clearly, there is somebody benefiting. Again, we also want to know whether the stolen resources from our coffers are being used by these individuals to again buy our own shares. So some of these things are things that will need to be undone by the new government once it is in power, because they are not being done properly. So you need a person mwenye akisema nitachukua Venezuela, anachukua. You remember
America.
I saw Trump saying he's going to take Venezuela. Kumbe alikuwa anachukua mtu kwa bedroom na bibi yake. So we need that kind of a person in this country for a minimum of 5-10 years, and the country will be back on its feet.
Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Honorable Jeremiah Kioni. We wish you all the best going forward.
Yes.
Lakini kama kawaida sisi tulikuambia wewe njoo tuendelee kuongea.
Nitakuja, nashukuru kwa hiyo nafasi, lakini watu waache domestic terrorism. Hii ni kitu baya sana. Na kama hii ni ukweli, huyu ni bwana na bibi yake, si ndio hii?
Yes.
Nimesema watafute watoto, waache kutafuta goons. Mnaoa kutafuta watoto, si kutafuta goons. If what is reported in the papers is anywhere near the truth.
See you tomorrow morning, bright and early.
Asante sana, nashukuru Mungu.
This is the Radio Generation News.
Good morning, I'm Winnie Maganga. The murder trial of Multimedia University student Sylvia Kemonto